That's anything, but you don't like what we drum that. You're full speed today. Full speed today.
Good morning.
Dr.Bbatson, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. I call in foul, eh? Right.
You call it
I call in foul. I call in foul. You come in the gate just so you're shocked. You know, if Dr. Bbatson say, well, now today only I'm going to get it. You automatically put me on pause there. So you make sure I have to behave myself.
I'm a biased referee. That does problem. I'm a biased referee. I have to protect my listeners.
You have to protect your listeners at all costs. You're songing good. According to my great grandmother, Francis carry.
Yeah.
Francis bring you, but they don't carry you back.
They don't bring it back. They don't bring it back at all. You understand? So what I'm doing is telling them no. We're giving you the drama. We're giving you full speed if you're talking in nonsense.
Yes.
But we will try our very best to be patient with you today.
Definitely. So a pleasant good morning to the listeners of Sky 99.5. I had careful, like I'm doing too much of radio programs and then they call our next frequency.
Let me just make sure I put
make sure so I can see to the corner. On that side of your shoulder. Yes. So a pleasant good morning to the listeners of Sky 99.5. Always a pleasure to be in your company. Today we have a jam-packed program. Of course, I believe we have an hour on Sky this morning. No, we're on for 2. All right. Yeah, well, I take it. All right. Yeah, so well in this case, with the radio station, we're better giving my ticket. I ain't complaining.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Right, good. So today, we're going to be discussing a serious topic, which to some people is not a serious topic, but it really is a serious topic because of how many persons are affected. And this affects from babies, go straight up to adults, even very old persons, the elderly, right? Or more mature persons, I should say. And that is the topic of skin health. We're going to discuss skin, hair, nails. Now, I kind of set it up myself here because I still had the people jelly for them. But all I know how I just drop it. I talking, we are back order. So all who in definitely back order, don't worry. We'll forget you all. When the jelly reach, all again the call first. So with that being said, we're going to discuss what is referred to as the integumentary system. And that's just a big, long word for the skin and its appendages, which would include things like your fingernails, your hair, your dermis, epidermis. So we're talking about, today we're discussing things, or we're looking at everything from eczema, lichen planus, atopic dermatitis, pimples, you have problems with acne, you have problems with lota, the very common lota. Some people have some lota that is look little kind of prettyish, and some people have some lota is look like frog standing up on your back or your shoulder. That kind of raised, kind of fattish looking lota. And you have this for years, because sometimes I've come across persons who say, Dr. Bbatson, I have lota since I'm 17 years or 18 years, and I'm speaking to a 60-year-old. So that is saying anything good. It means that that pathogen that you have inside of there, just basically in your body all the years. That's what that means. So this is going to touch on things like dry scalp, dandruff, dry lips. People talk about your eyes, dry eyes, your skin flaking, dry skin peeling. So this is a broad topic because everyone wants to have nice skin, especially the ladies. Ladies spend a lot of money by estheticians and going to the spa and that type of thing. The fellas in backward now because as men we realize you can't be wanting to be married or have girlfriend and thing and your toes looking like Nebuchadnezzar's own and your fingernails. No, that's unacceptable. So it's all about proper hygiene and that type of thing. So that is what we're speaking about. If you have fingernails and your fingernails have ridges on them, so you see like stripes on your fingernails, brown, some stuff looking sort of brownish, you have fungus on your fingernails, your toes, in between your toes, and these things just not going. That is what we're discussing today. What is the backstory with the integumentary system or the skin? So we know, first of all, let me say a pleasant good morning as well to our social media family. We are live on Facebook. On Facebook, we are Bbatson and Associates Limited. On Instagram, we are Bbatson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Bbatson and Associates Trinidad. So I'm going to try my utmost best to answer all or as much questions as possible. So, but please try and send the questions early in the game. Don't wait until we come along to the end of the race to say, hey, try and get it in as soon as possible. Nice. So with that being said, your skin or your integumentary system is an organ system. Your skin is the largest organ of the body. Your skin, we know, is an external organ primarily, and what it does, the purpose of your skin or your integumentary system is basically to protect the inner aspects of the body, your cells and that type of thing, from the external environment. That's primarily the purpose of your skin. But your skin is also an organ of detoxification. We know we have 7. So the 7 organs or organ systems of detoxification would be your kidney, your colon, your bloodstream, your liver, your lymphatic system, your skin, and your lungs. So it means that this skin is also part of the elimination or the process of waste coming out of the body. So usually when you have problems with your skin, it is an indication that something is wrong in the other organ systems. Gastrointestinal, liver, kidney, lymphatic system. The lymphatic system we're going to touch on a bit today because a lot of people do already know about your lymphatic system. And your lymphatic system actually works very closely with the integumentary system or your skin, hair, nails, because if your lymphatic system is not functioning properly, it is going to cause some serious problems because your lymphatic system plays a significant role in your immunity. Very, very important role. And that you're going to see how that applies. So we're talking about people, you know, have the ladies, you're looking really nice and thing. And, you know, if you're in a bathing suit, it's because you have back knee. Your whole back is some serious problems with, you know, blackheads, whiteheads, yellow heads, all kind of heads you're having. And, you know, that's something that we need to address. So as I said, this program covers a lot. So listen, there are some products that we carry at Bbatson & Associates. Interestingly, those of you who would be aware of the silver with the mineral formula, big product, you know, that's one of the top sellers that we have, which is, we know the colloidal silver, nano silver with minerals in it. We actually have a soap that actually has those same properties, and that is to be used topically. There's also a gel that we carry as well that is normally used for persons who have serious problems associated with ulcers. So people who have venous ulcers, diabetic ulcers, you know, you have a sore that just not healing, Bbatson & Associates is the place for that. Good. So keep in mind, we're going to be calling out the telephone numbers. We have some interesting packages for you guys. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Ms. Overlet McFarlane. First in the line, Ms. Rosalind Noel, Ms. Joan Antoine, Ms. Jacqueline A. Noel, Mr. Keith Lewis, Ms. Elizabeth Nandlal, always a pleasure. Ms. Joy Lewis, Ms. Petronella, Joy Felix, these people, you know, always, you know, a pleasure to have you guys. We actually have New York in the house. We also have Cayman Islands. We have Grenada, and we have St. Vincent. Also the islands coming early this morning. So, you know, tell a friend, tell a neighbor, and let's see how many persons we could help feel better, get better, right? So, as I was saying, as regards to the skin aspect, it is really a lot of the times, because the skin is the largest organ of your body. Yes, it is an external organ, but it is the largest organ system of the body. When you look at it from the perspective of surface area to volume ratio, it is the most, you know, it's large. It carries the greatest surface area. And as a result of that, when your body is in crisis, the skin is the organ that has to take up the slack. I'll repeat that again. When your body is in crisis, your skin is the organ that is going to take up the mantle. That's the organ that all the stress is going to be placed upon. So that applies to persons who have, for example, eczema. Within recent times, I have found that we have been getting a lot of children, babies in fact, with eczema. There are a few babies right now that we actually have under our treatment protocol and care as regards to eczema, and I always ask the parents, especially the mothers, to be a little patient in the situation, because you see, when you're dealing with eczema is an inflammatory skin problem. The problem with eczema and any inflammatory skin condition or any inflammatory condition in general is that you cannot use steroids long-term to treat inflammatory conditions. I will say it again. I will repeat it for those in the back. You cannot use steroids, whether it is topical steroids, whether it is oral steroids, for example, prednisolone, to treat inflammatory conditions, whether it is arthritis, whether it is what we're discussing today, eczema, lichen planus, whether it is lupus, whether it is atopic dermatitis, whatever your diagnosis is as regards to inflammatory conditions, you cannot successfully, so let me say it properly, you could use it, but you cannot successfully treat those ailments with steroids long term. You are going to end up in a lot of problems. A perfect example, if you look at persons who have debilitating arthritis, I'm not talking about you have a little pain and you take a little painkiller once in a while, you get a pain in your back, your knee, and that type of thing. I'm talking about the persons who literally bend up, you're to the point of almost being crippled. Check the history. Full abuse of steroids, especially prednisolone. So if you have arthritis and you love to go by the doctor and take injection in your knee, injection in your back, because you know they have an injection for everything, 99.9% of the time that injection is a steroid injection, corticosteroid. So what it is going to do, what you have to understand, we have some bright people in the house, steroids suppress inflammation and do not reduce. So you don't have to be a linguist, you don't have to have a distinction in English to understand the difference between suppress and reduce. Good? Reduce is reduce. Suppressing is a dangerous thing. And that's primarily what steroids do. And then you have some serious backlash when you use steroids long term, for example, and even topical steroids. So all them fancy cream, when you go by the dermatologist, they just give you and tell you to use this. Remember, anything that you put on your skin goes where? In your blood stream. So again, I say it loud for the ones in the back, because you know some of you like a lot of shortcuts. When coming to your health, let me tell you something. Shortcut is a dangerous thing in anything. I remember one of the greatest cocktail I ever got in my life was because I and my siblings passed by a shortcut. And we end up in some problems. A dog bite my brother. No fault of my own. And I get licks for he and he nonsense. So shortcut, I have a serious distaste and disdain for shortcuts. Shortcuts is putting in problem. So especially when coming to your health, there is no shortcut. Right? I don't want to deviate too much. I'm going to touch a little bit on it as it relates to depression and anxiety and that kind of thing. Because I find I get a lot of people now, you see shortcut with mental and nervous breakdown and them kind of thing. Well, all your wins have serious problem. Because that shortcut, that is end up being a long cut. There's been real problems. Because when they put you on sleeping medication, when they put you on depression medication and anxiety medication, what a lot of people do not understand is that these types of medications do what? They alter your brain chemistry. So I'll say something very controversial. There are plenty of people who are mad now. Bipolar, schizophrenia, OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. And let me tell you something, that is not what happened to them in the beginning. Those persons have nervous breakdowns and they were falsely diagnosed, and then they put you on a bag of medication. And that is why years after, if you see the condition some of these people in, it's sad, and it's very difficult to deal with persons who have been put on psychiatric and which would include, because depression and anxiety medication is psychiatric medication. When you use those things long term, you are not yourself. You deteriorate over a period of time. And we're talking to persons who want to be healthy and who want to be healthy long term. So pay attention. So let me just give you our telephone numbers quickly. The contact number for the Shoguna's office. That office is located on the first floor of Money Talks building.
Unfortunately.
He said, unfortunately. Right. Unfortunately. So I don't have to tell you how painful a boil is. Right? But let me tell you something. If you have a history of boils, or you get a little one boil in your lifetime, boils have a way, they're very, what's the word, boy? They're discourteous. They're very rude. They find themselves in certain places. So if you get a boil will come, by your stomach, it'll go by your shoulder. Boils like certain places. So it's like very close to your buttocks, close to your groin area, that kind of thing. Some cases, your back. And the reason for that is because it is an indication of excessive toxins in the body. And again, the body is in crisis. So what the body does, the body say, listen to me. The rest of organ systems, your digestive system, your liver, your kidney, your lymphatic system, say, here what, fellas, we can't deal with this, Let the skin deal with it. And it's because they send it out, and your skin now is expelling all these toxins. Because when you get boils, what does come out of boils? Pus, right? And what do you think pus is? Pus is a combination of things, Dead white blood cells, pathogens, whether it's bacteria, virus, fungus, protozoa, that is being expelled from the body. So if you get the boil, it's a good thing that it's coming out. Because a lot of people do not understand that your body always tries to maintain what? Balance, homeostasis, equilibrium. So that is what the body is doing. The body is saying, listen to me, we have too much toxins, we have too much poison inside of here. Send it out. Send it out. And listen to me, boils do not smell nice. If you have a madam, my wife, and that kind of thing, it's real loving. The Bible saying sickness and in health. Richer and for poorer. Big boils, small boils. So they had to clean that. And listen to me, if it is your boil ever gets so bad that you have to go to the doctor, that they have to gash it, listen to me, them things is flying, doctor upon mask and coat and things. So now the thing is, it might sound like if I'm being facetious, but it's a serious thing. It is, and if you have recurrent boils, watch yourself. You're a perfect candidate for cancer. Your body is that's what we call toxic overload, and what we also call auto-intoxication. Prefix auto meaning self, intoxication meaning what? Poison. So there are some of us walking around, especially when you have problems with your skin. What your body is doing, that is auto-intoxication. It's just going wrong like toxins just circulating inside of the body. Remember, when you're dealing with pathogens are living organisms, right? All living organisms, primarily do what? They eat and they do what? They excrete. So usually when you have pathogens in your body, you don't have no one. If you have candida, you don't have 1 and 2 candida, No candida, watch me. They don't have a stadium. You're talking about millions, billions, in some cases, trillions. So you could imagine trillions of organisms in your body, in your gut. Them fellas and them go all over the place, especially if you have what is referred to as leaky gut syndrome. And very quickly, leaky gut syndrome is a situation where the holes in your intestines, because remember your small intestines is what? A semi-permeable membrane. What is a semi-permeable membrane? Easy analogy, a strainer. So if you have a strainer, and you're working, some of us, you have strainers, and the strainer a little old, you can't use that. If you go and try to make a little lime juice, you make a little orange juice, and you use the strainer, we're going, all the pulp and all the seed going down in the juice. So when you're drinking the juice now, you have to use your teeth as a strainer. I am saying that to help you to understand that that is the same thing that happens in a case of leaky gut. So it means the holes in the small intestines are too large. And as a result of that, pathogens, bacteria, virus, funguses, leave the intestines and they go into where? Your bloodstream. And anything that goes in your bloodstream has access to where? Every part of your body. I'll say it again. And that's why I'm such a big advocate of live nutritional blood cell analysis, what is referred to as dark field microscopy. Let me say a pleasant good morning to our very well-trained blood microscopists and consultants that make my life a lot easier. A pleasant good morning. The whole team, But this particular aspect, these are the people on the consultancy aspect, Ms. Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Paul Green, Mr. Rene Bastamante, and Mr. Stefan Vialva. well-trained individuals. So as I always tell you all, try your best. Remember, we want all to get help, and we want all to get help quickly. We have an effective and efficient protocol in place that is getting more and more effective and efficient. Because if you listen to me, you realize I'm a no-nonsense person. And that is transmitted in all aspects of my life. I don't have time for games. So the people who work with me know, hey, it's serious business we're doing here. We're dealing with people's health. Let me say, of course, there were some persons yesterday. Yesterday, we had a very good day in Shogunas. There were some persons where we had the family tree. And that is a promotion that we will have again, but we'll let you guys know where, what, and when. And family tree was primarily 3 persons who would come. And they would pay a specific price where you would get something like, it was like about 60% off the original price of some of the services, which would be the live blood analysis, the dry blood analysis, the executive consultation, and the food detox. Watch me, that is a steal of a deal. And there were some persons who were there yesterday as well, and they took advantage of that, and, you know, they were satisfied. So, and, you know, Mr. Vialva, Ms. Ramdan, they were able to, you know, facilitate those persons fully satisfied. So, you know, you have proper service that you're dealing with. Good? So with that being said, you have to keep in mind that when your body speaks to you, you must listen. There was a time I did some programs where we talk about, in fact, someone is asking me, Ms. Nanlal is actually asking if leaky gut syndrome could be reversed. Yes. There isn't anything really in the human body that cannot be reversed. Let me get a little controversial here. The only time it's difficult to fix you, so I use any fix, like we fix any car, because primarily, Bbatson and Associates is mechanics, you know, well-trained mechanics. But the thing is, you always want to do no harm. Hippocrates, which they refer to as the father of modern medicine, had a saying. He used to say, do no harm. All doctors take an oath known as a Hippocratic oath. And the Hippocratic oath states that doctors, in the rendering of their service, should always go the way to do no harm. Go and research it, if you don't believe me. So that Hippocratic oath that I myself had to take, even though I am not a medical doctor, and I say that with no disdain or anything, I do not have the desire to do a MD or do a MBBS, which I can do, because my brain's still working, as you could see. Right? But I just don't want to fall under that organization because, you know, it have a certain level of control that it have. And only realize I'm a little rogue and just give a little trouble. Yeah, I say it plainly. I was never a person where everything you read and they put and they tell me, yeah, I just swallow it. I ask, and as a man like that, plenty questions. I get plenty trouble in school, and I was labeled as a rude child. Let me say a pleasant good morning to my loving mother, Judith Bbatson. I get some licks, you know. I was labeled as a rude child because when adults tell me things and I find, listen to me, I young, but that ain't really making sense, you know, mommy. You know, you go get some slap. So I had to learn from a very young age that, yes, you must have your opinions, but a child is a child. And as my great-grandmother used to tell me, she said, boy, you ain't gonna stay small, you'll get big. So I was glad when I reached the stage in my life where I was an adult that, you know, licks don't really come easily, right? So I'm saying all of that to say that you have to ask some questions sometimes. So with that being said, what the point I'm making is that when you see you get caught, you're hard to fix. You know why? The human body is a seal. Understand this. Whether you believe in God Almighty, you believe in creation, wherever you believe in is your concern. I believe in creation, right? Your body is a seal. When you see that is a whole completed seal. When you break that seal, it's a different story. You know the old people ever saying is a horse of a different color? So in other words, when you do surgery, any type of surgery, you are not the same. And I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm not trying to be anything. That is practical sense. Let me ask you a question. If you go to buy a vehicle, right? Like for example, in the US, they have these car listings where they would normally list vehicles that have gotten in accidents. All you know about that? There's a reason why that is there. If you buy a vehicle from someone and the vehicle was in an accident and they didn't tell you, watch me, you could make some noise. That could end up in court and thing. Because they have to tell you if the vehicle is a bounce vehicle or a damaged vehicle. You understand? So if a vehicle was in an accident, that vehicle cannot work the same way. You know? Think about it. So if the vehicle was in an accident and let's say the front, the chassis mash up, whatever the case, mash up, and they take the vehicle and they weld it back together, you will not drive that? You might have to pay $1 for it. Because you could be driving down Solomon Ochoy, and next thing is because the back seat with whoever your family on one side and the front seat and the passenger front seat on the next side, you know. So because that vehicle has been damaged. So when you cut the human body, whether you are female, you give birth and you get a cesarean, you're not the same. You do a hysterectomy, you're not the same. You do triple bypass, you're not the same. You ask anybody who do surgery, with honesty, you're not the same. So I'm saying all of that to say, try your best. Do no harm. Surgery should always be emergency. And don't let anybody fool you and tell you, well, you can live with one kidney, you can live without an appendix, that don't have any purpose. Mankind can say that, use not God. Or you could tell me you can live without an appendix, you know. You can live without this organ that they love to take out, your gallbladder. You go and ask anybody who don't have the gallbladder and ask them what is going on with them. You have digestive problems for the rest of your life. Because your gallbladder is an organ of what? Digestion. Your gallbladder plays a significant role in the metabolism of what? Lipids, fat. You could live with a piece of liver, you know. But it's how you live. You could live with one kidney. You could live with one eye. You could live on a dialysis machine. But what is the quality of life you enjoy? That's the thing, you know. I always tell person, the analogy I use is you could drive a car without a windscreen. I have seen people driving, if you get in an accident and they put plastic, some glad wrap, and wrap. You could drive, you know. But how long you could drive that vehicle? In fact, that is against the law. If they catch you, you're going to get some charges because you're putting yourself in danger. So in other words, the objective we're trying to get here, try to understand, is that the people who have not been cut yet, we're trying to keep you from not getting cut. And the ones who get cut already, we don't want to get cut again. So the surgery business, like I was dealing with someone recently who came to us and they got some very good results with their eyes because they were told that they had cataracts and the cataracts needed to be removed, and they heard us on the radio talking about the eye optics formula and that type of thing. And as a result, you know, they ended up saying, hey, you know, Dr. Bbatson, they brought somebody else because when they went to the doctor, excuse me, the ophthalmologist, they realized that they didn't have any cataracts again. And I tell persons that you have eye drops for cataract, you have eye drops for glaucoma. If it is your artery block up, I could think of 50 things off the top of my head right now that could clear block arteries. So why it is you going for somebody to bust open your good chest? You ever see people when they do triple bypass? That scar they stay with you, you know. It's a sword that they used to open that, you know, to go inside of it and plumbing. And listen to me, bypass don't last. How long do you think a bypass this lasts? 10 years if you're lucky. Because if you're still eating foolishness, which most of you all do, because the doctor who do it ain't not to tell you, hey, cut off the cheese, cut off the butter, do some exercise, get some fiber in the mix. Nothing going on. So as the old people say, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Yeah. You go and check how much people do eye surgery. Cataract, a simple cataract surgery. No surgery is simple because of what I just explained. You are breaking a seal. When you buy something in the supermarket or wherever you buy and you open the pack, you have a seal, you could seal it back. I remember as a young boy, let me say this quickly before I call the telephone numbers and we take some questions. I had a thing with puncher creme, right? Love a puncher creme, you know? My grandmother, which is on my father's side, used to make a boss puncher creme. But the thing is, I used to have a problem. When it is the puncher creme seal, I say, nah, boy, if it is an open, a story. Before, it didn't used to seal, they used to leave it there. So what I used to do, I used to go and shake it up, take out some of the puncher creme, and I go and buy evaporated milk in the shop. So I throw the evaporated milk inside with some water to make it look like I didn't take out it. Of course, you know, them old people and them have real sense, and I get some some licks, wasn't bad licks. That grandmother and I was real good. So, you know, I was a little spoiled. But what she realized after, she started to get to seal the bottles. But you know the party done there? I can't go and I can't get no puncher creme again. Simple fix, you know. Why? Because I cannot see back the bottle. So I just giving you that example to tell you, when you break the seal, you're in problems. Men, do not let anybody tell you they're going to cut out your prostate. I don't care if you have prostatitis. I don't care if you have benign prostatic hyperplasia. What you should have been doing is checking yourself before so that you don't end up in that situation. But let me tell you something. When you remove your prostate, if you are a married man, you're in problems. And all of us is big people, you know what it is I'm talking about. And some of them so wicked they say, hey, no, we'll take out your prostate and you could still function properly. I use a simple analogy. If you have a horse that are custom pulling a carriage and you move the carriage, the horse don't function properly. All of these big people. Do not do yourself that. Sometimes, a lot of the times, all it takes is a simple matter of cleansing and detoxifying and following the program. As I was telling someone, I have a new saying now. Discipline and consistency will always take you further than talent. Again, all of us as big people, we understand that. You could be gifted with what? Usain Bolt. Gifted, right? He naturally gifted. But if he did not have discipline and consistency, he would have never reached which part he reached. Because he had to do what? Consistently. So the same thing applies. You cannot have diabetes. You come and you do a program, you take two things, you drink some blood pressure tea, you drink some blood sugar tea rather, you use some santul and you use some water 1 month and then you vex. You fed up. Oh God, the sugar ain't going up. No. Some of you all have diabetes since God said let there be light. Since he found in the earth, you have diabetes and you just want to come in 1 month and get better. No, it don't work so. It don't work so. Common sense make before book. So let me give you those telephone numbers again. Look out for some of those specials that we'll be talking about. Check out our page, Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. We just put out, I think 3 new testimonies we put up there. Some really good testimonies. Shakil, how much it is? I say it correct? It's how many testimonies we have up so far? New one.
Two new ones coming this week.
Okay, good. So we have 1 and we have 2 new ones. So by the end of this month, we should have like about 10 new ones and some very interesting testimonies that apply. There is one that is up there. I appeal anyone who knows anybody who have problem with depression, who have problems with anxiety, any woman out there, or woman rather, that are suffering with PMS, this postmenopausal syndrome thing is licking up females. Read that testimony because that young lady was only, 16 years? Yeah, and much more. Awesome testimony.
We always repost it on the page.
Yeah, and we could always repost it on the page and, you guys would be able to see what's going on there. All right. So, Dominic, sir, the ball is in your court. We're taking some calls.
But clearly folks don't take your advice on sending the messages and whatnot, really. So, my friends, don't forget, we're not sticking with you today, we're trying to play fair, but trying to be fair on both sides. The numbers to call are 625-2759 or 624-7729. And of course, you can send your messages, your voice notes to 333-9950. 333-9950. All right, so let's see. We have a call on your line here. Make sure you're going to get. Of course, please, I'm begging. Today is not the day.
Yeah,
turn off the radio.
Off the radio, eh?
Yeah. Turn off the radio.
Yeah.
And listen to us on the phone. Mm-hmm. All right? Okay.
Dominic would not be eating nice with that, eh?
Yeah. All right. So today's the day. Good morning to you. Welcome.
Dr. Bbatson, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Dr. Bbatson, I just called to compliment you, sir, and you will know who this is when I call it your stick-to-itiveness.
Yes, sir. Pleasant good morning, sir. Yes, sir.
Keep up the good work, Dr. Bbatson.
Thank you so very much, sir.
All right. 625-2759 or 624-7729. Let's see. We have some messages that just came in here now. All right. No, didn't say anything there. Good morning, doctor. What can be used for a fungus on my thumb, on a toe, for almost 10 years?
Again, so you're looking at that has to deal with So remember, as I said, so the integumentary system, which is your skin and your appendages, so skin, nails. Once you have any fungal infection that lasts that period of time, it means that it is now chronic. Chronic means it is primarily all over the body, internally, but it only manifests itself in one particular area, which is the nails. So again, it means, so you're looking at things like Santulan, which is a 7-channel detox, kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. As I always tell persons, if you have 7 persons that have to come to do a job, right? So you have, excuse me, operations, you have accounts, you have security, you have IT, you have purchasing. It means that if 2 persons out of the 7 doesn't report to work, accounts cannot do IT's work. IT can't do accounts work. Operations cannot do purchasing work. So it means those organs are elimination. Kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. They depend on each other for the successful operation and successful balancing of the body. So the thing is, in that particular case, you need to look at your gastrointestinal system is compromised, your liver needs some work, kidney, lymphatic system. So from available at Batson & Associates, you're looking at Alkagen water, which we know is a premium alkaline water. Contrary to popular belief, alkaline water does have a lot of medical benefits associated with it. Simply because the water is ORP, which is oxidative reduction potential, which means the water is really an antioxidant water. And apart from that, it is going to assist in doing some aspect of rejuvenation to the colon. Some free advice here. I always tell persons, baking soda is your friend. Now, contrary to popular belief, baking soda does not have aluminum in it. So the thing is, very quickly, some persons who are of the opinion, like you would see on certain brands of baking soda, they put aluminum free. Chemistry-wise, baking soda cannot have aluminum in it. Baking powder is what the aluminum issue was about. Okay? So a half teaspoon of baking soda in 8 ounces of water, first thing in the morning, gonna save you some trips to the hospital. That's some free advice there. Take advantage of it. Santulan, a 7-channel detox that we carry at Batson & Associates. Excellent product, but keep in mind that is a detox that is effective, is a gentle detox, but it is very effective and efficient. So what you need to do is make sure you're consuming sufficient amount of water. What is sufficient amount of water? Your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. So if you weigh 160 pounds, half of 160 is 80. It means that you need to consume 80 ounces of water. If you convert ounces into liters, I was supposed to check this before, but I believe it's somewhere 80 ounces of water would be the equivalent of, I think, anywhere between 2 liters to 2.5 liters of water for the day. Right? You could always check it. After God is Google. Right? Let me quickly say a pleasant good morning to the gentleman that called a while ago. And interestingly, I was actually having a staff meeting yesterday, and I used that same term, stick-to-itiveness. Right? So there are a lot of persons who have had significant influence in my life. And that was one of those individuals. So let me say a pleasant good morning to my former boss, Mr. Kendall Spencer. So you are partly responsible for where I am today. Because of stick-to-itiveness, I ensured that I did that. And that's why I am where I am. So thank you for that call this morning, and thank you for the advice that I use up to now with the people who I currently employ. Let me say quickly a pleasant good morning to Ms. Petronella Joy Felix. She says, Dr. Batson, listen, I don't know what you put in that woman's formula, but I swear I have to remind myself that I am menopausal. Absolutely amazing. I just started the Nerve Restore and really don't feel as tired as I should feel when I wake up on mornings. That was Ms. Petronella Joy Felix. So thank you very much for that experience. And I continue to ask, persons who use our products, who have used the service, to unbiasedly, give us your opinion. And that was one day. So you see, we carry some good stuff. And as I always tell persons, the old people have a saying, an ounce of prevention better than a pound of cure. Don't feel you have to come and spend $1 million on yourself. But if you do piece by piece, you're going to achieve some level of success where your health is concerned, especially the diabetics. I always appeal to persons who are diabetic. And I tell them, I said, listen to me, you do not play with diabetes. You know why? Diabetes is not playing with you. If you look, Trinidad and Tobago currently, I think the only country in this part of the world that has a higher percentage per capita is Barbados as it relates to amputations. Trinidad has a high amputation rate. In fact, one of the testimonies that we're going to post sometime during the month is a testimony from a lady I dealt with in St. James. And if you see, because that testimony is going to have some photographs associated with it, if you see the results of that wound that lady had, and it just took us 6 weeks to give her the results that she got. Even the family members in the US who are aware of the situation and were contemplating to have her go over there, they are amazed at the results. So the thing is, you could get better, you know. I always tell people that. But discipline and consistency. Think about it. You want to lose weight, right? You know if you want to lose weight, there are certain things you don't do. You do not eat simple carbohydrates after 7, 8 o'clock in the night. What are simple carbohydrates? Bread. So anything that has a high glycemic index, right? So bread, things like soft drink, juices, rice, pasta. You don't eat that after 7, 8 o'clock. You shouldn't. If you're maybe 20 years, 25 years, and you're training in the gym, you go to the gym 3, 4 times a week, you may have a high metabolism, and because of that training, your body would require additional carbohydrate. You wouldn't be able to get away with that. But from the time you pass the age 35, 40, no, you can't be doing that. Potato is our next thing. We're not speaking about sweet potato. We're speaking about Irish potato, the white potato. You do not eat that after 7 o'clock. So all the lovers of fries, all the fries lovers, if you had to eat fries, that's in the morning. I know some people get a little upset, but no, you can't be doing that. You can imagine the facial expression of some of these people, eh?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're going to respond this hour in the morning, boy.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc, here's my question to you this morning, right?
Yes, sir.
With regards to Santulan,
yes, sir.
Have there ever been cases where you would encourage persons to have an extended use of the product? And by that I mean that traditionally you would offer the box or whatever it is, or the packet, along with the water, and you say, well, all right, you're taking this for a week or 2 weeks or whatever the case is.
Good.
But is there ever a need, or do you ever advise persons, because it's a mild, what's the word you use just now?
Detox.
Detox. All right. Is it just something that you
could use long term?
Yes, long term, but not crazy long term. Like
right. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand the question and I'll answer accordingly. The thing with Santulan, let me quickly explain something. Santulan was deliberately designed and searched out for. I got that product like maybe about 10 years ago, boy. Because I wanted a detox that it wasn't tablets, because I found that all the detoxes on the markets were a lot of pills. I mean, there was a popular company around, I don't have to call the name, where they used to offer detox. They had programs on the TV and that type of thing. And the product was actually a good product, you know. The issue is, a lot of the times, you have to try to make people's life a little easy, and you have to try to give persons things that would work along with the schedule, because everybody busy now. We live in a world, everybody busy. I mean, I don't know if I know you are on the roads within recent time, I think traffic in this country just quadrupled within maybe a year, just after the pandemic. Like, everybody buy cars and they just had it home waiting for the pandemic to over, and everybody driving now, right? So the thing is, a lot of us stressed, a lot of us have less time to do certain things. So I always try to make persons' life easier. So the reason for that was the reason for Santulan. 1, is a liquid product. 2, it is a product that could be used by almost any age group, because a 2-year-old child could use Santulan. You just adjust the dosage and you just dilute it, because it's a liquid product, right? So the thing with Santulan, with that being said, there are some persons who would recommend that you use 4 packs of Santulan. So a pack of Santulan is primarily 3 tea bags, which you would use to 1 gallon of water. A gallon is what? 4 liters, right? So the thing is, most of the time, you have your 3 tea bags, you take out 2 cups of water out of the gallon, you put that to boil. As it starts to boil, you turn off your stove and you take the Santulan and you steep the Santulan for 8 hours. So when you do that now, the tea, as well as the tea bags, you throw into the gallon bottle. So you're not throwing away your tea bags. And there's a reason for that. So you take that and you now keep that in your refrigerator. Now we know we do not advocate the drinking of cold water for a number of reasons, right? So primarily your Santulan, we tell you, you take out anywhere between 1 8-ounce glass to 2 8-ounce glasses, which is 16 ounce, and you leave it out like maybe for about 30 minutes, you thaw it out, and then you would have it as close to room temperature as possible. We normally recommend that you use that like about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, there's a reason why I recommend it 5 o'clock, simply because Santulan is ideally, the best results is on an empty stomach. What is an empty stomach? An empty stomach primarily, is 30 to 45 minutes before a meal or an hour and a half to 3 hours after a meal, depending on the meal. So if you primarily just had some salad and that type of thing, that's going to go through your system in about maybe an hour and a half. If it is you had regular, how we would normally construct meals, which would be your meat, maybe some sort of legumes, maybe some rice or provision, that kind of thing, that's going to stay in the system a little longer. So you're looking at about 2.5, maybe 3 hours. So that's why we told persons 5 o'clock, 5 p.m., because it would have been convenient where most persons would have had lunch. Even if you had a late lunch, which is 2 o'clock, 3 hours would have passed and your stomach would technically be empty and you could use the Santulan at 5. And most persons would have their last meal anywhere between maybe 6 or 7, for the latest, maybe 8 o'clock. And Santulan would give you a bowel movement anywhere between maybe 6 to 8 to 10 hours after. So if you have it 5, 6 o'clock, you'll get a bowel movement either very late in the night when you're in your house comfortably, so you could get up and go in your washroom, or early in the morning again before you leave the house. So people who work regular schedules, you understand, you could use a detox. And that again was deliberate because most of the time, in order for persons to take detoxes, they would have to take holidays. But I mean, a lot of persons don't get holidays now, right? Now, as regards to the long-term use, you can use Santulan long-term responsibly. So, for example, I had a client just maybe about 2 years ago came to us, and she wanted to lose 100 pounds. So what we did is that she used Santulan. She did the first 4 packs for a month, and then subsequent to that, she used 1 pack of Santulan consistently for a year. And over that period of time, she was able to lose the 100 pounds. So the thing is, the way Santulan is, it is not an aggressive cleanse, but it is effective. So you can use it long term. I use a pack of Santulan every month. So it would basically stretch out for the month. So I would use like 1 glass every 3 days or something like that as a maintenance. And people who I work with who work like in oil and gas, I always advocate people who are hairdressers, people who, once you deal with chemicals, jewelers, you're working at a gas station, you're working in oil and gas, you may be working on oil platforms, those type of things. Those people inhale a lot of chemicals. People who work in the cleaning industry too. And that's something I need to do a program as well, because I think a lot of persons who work and do cleaning simply using things like cleaning agents, like, bleaches and those type of things, they need to be careful, because those things cause a lot of problems. Even people who work CPEP, if you're working where you're actually cleaning a drain, you're going to get some scent there. That is not only smell you're getting, that's some serious toxins and pathogens that are going to be coming up in the atmosphere, and you're going to be inhaling those things. So you need to constantly take different cleanses. And there was a situation where I had, which was very sad. Somebody came to me some years ago, and without giving out too much information, they were working CPEP. And the diagnosis that they got, when they came to me, they didn't go to the conventional testing and that type of thing. But the way they started speak, where they had problems with breathing and listening to the way they were speaking and how I was hearing their lungs when I sounded them, I said, this song is serious enough. So I eventually sent them to get a CT scan done. And lo and behold, it was lung cancer. And this person worked in that whole establishment, CPEP, 10 days, whatever the situation was, for a number of years. So they would have cleaned several drains. So
Right.
people, check yourself before you wreck yourself. A pack of Santulan is not exorbitant. I mean, I am and don't really call, I am a person, sorry, that don't really call prices. But a pack of Santulan is not more than $100. So even if you could only afford $100 for the whole year, you don't have an excuse. You need to take care of yourself. So Santulan could be used long-term, responsibly. As I said, I use 1 pack for a month, and I do that consistently. Right?
Okay.
And that is as a form of maintenance. Right?
All right. So we get back into the board, my friends. Thank you so very much. I see you guys have gotten on board, and you're ready for us this morning. All right, let's see.
We have someone there?
They're asking, you're getting voice note there?
No, I didn't hear. Sorry.
If someone has neither glaucoma nor cataract,
Right,
and they still use the ioptic formula,
yes, they can. They definitely can.
as a form of
Yeah, as a form. The thing with ioptics formula is primarily an organic, rather, Ayurvedic, in terms of Ayurvedic preparation, eye drop, and what it does, it detoxifies the eyes. Now, your body taking toxins in 3 ways. It takes it dermally, which is one of the ways we discuss it, which is via your skin or your integumentary system. It comes in ocularly, which is via your eyes, and it also comes in respiratory-wise, nostrils, regular breathing, right? So the thing is, what the ioptics formula does is literally detoxifies the eye, because most people who end up with glaucoma, you have 2 types of glaucoma. You have open-angled and closed-angled glaucoma, right? Glaucoma is high ocular pressure in your eyes. The ocular pressure in your eyes on the lowest end should go no lower than 8. Should not go lower than 8. It should not exceed 16 comfortably. If you go up to 18, we could forgive you. But from the time you start to pass 18 and you're going up in the 20s, you're in a lot of problems. Because what you have to understand, in any situation where pressure is elevated, you have what? The damaging of blood vessels. So think about people who get brain aneurysms, persons who have gotten strokes. Look at any situation with someone who got a stroke. Most of the time it is because their blood pressure went out of control and they ended up suffering either an ischemic stroke, which is lack of blood flow to the brain, lack of oxygen, or a hemorrhagic stroke, which is the worst type of strokes, which is actually a bleeding stroke. Good? So with glaucoma, if the ocular pressure goes in the eye very high, it's going to cause problems where you actually damage the blood vessels in the eyes. Keep in mind, blood vessels in the brain and the eye are what we call peripheral circulation, which is circulation in the extremities. So you're looking at capillary circulation, which is easily damaged by poor circulation. So keep in mind, if you have a glaucoma situation, your pressure in your eye should go no lower than 8. It should not exceed 16. And as regards to the use of the eye drop, so if you're a person who uses a lot of computer, I use ioptics formula. I mean, my problem is astigmatism, which I am nearsighted. I could read anything up close. Far, I cannot. I would get some problems. And that was since I was very young. I had to strain my eyes, and I always sit on the front seat of a class because I couldn't see the blackboard properly. And it's only after my parents realized something was wrong, because I tried to hide it because I didn't want glasses. Then they realized that is what I had. So, with that being said, though, anyone who wants to take care of their eyes, if as I said, you work in an industry where you deal with oil and gas, you are a hairdresser, you are a nail tech, watch me, you need to, that eye drop is going to come in handy. And the thing is, if you're in that environment, you only using that eye drop, maybe 1 drop in your eye twice for the day, morning and night. So that eye drop could last you anywhere between maybe 2 to 3 months.
Right.
So you're gonna get bang for your buck there. Apart from that, the eye drop also helps people with detached retina, which is bleeding to the back of the eyes, which is usually a complaint. It's known as diabetic retinopathy, which usually, so you could have retinopathy or bleeding behind the eyes and not be a diabetic, but most diabetics can end up with diabetic retinopathy or bleeding behind the eyes. So it is something that actually treats that, and it also is a preventative mechanism for that as well. So, eye optics formula is something, even babies could use eye optics formula. I have a testimony with my nephew. When he was born, he had a little situation where he had what we refer to as jaundice. And usually, when you have that, they have to put you under the lights. Now, in some cases, apparently the light was a little too strong. Or in some cases, it can affect their eyes. And the doctors were saying surgery. And this is a 3-month-old baby. My sister came to me and she showed me the eye drop that they give, which is an eye drop that only adults should use, but the doctor said that's the only thing they had. And we used the eye optics formula, and in 2 months' time, he would have his regular checks. And when they went back for his second check, the doctor said no. He said, I don't know what it is you did, but your son's eye is good now, and we don't need to do the surgery. So it is a very good preventative mechanism for people or persons who, you use your eyes a lot. I use this, as I said, because I do a lot of lab work. When I'm looking down in those bright microscopes, I'm on the computer a lot because of work. So, if you're a person who use computers, and we live in a technical age now, a lot of people, your eye always down in your phone. And that damages your eyesight after a period of time. So it's a good preventative measure, to, prevent certain situations. So let me give you quickly, those telephone numbers. Again, for the Shogunas office, we are located on the first floor, of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. That telephone number is 222-222-8261. Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle building in Scarborough, Tobago. That telephone number is 226-4553. 226-4553. Over to you, sir.
All right, so you're listening to the program Overcoming Health Issues Naturally with Dr. Dbatson of Batson and Associates. You have just given out the locations and the numbers to call. And of course, that they're on social media, my friends. So there's no need for you to be concerned about anything. I mean, just head up on Facebook or Instagram. And of course, you can type in the information, Batson and Associates, and you are bound to find them. Doc, I'm glad that you mentioned the testimony of your nephew there, because I was just about to ask you, because I know a lot of young people are in classrooms right now, and they're back out to classrooms following 2 years online classes, and their eyes may be giving some problems there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Doc, vitamin B, all right? So B vitamins.
Right.
What is the rule as to B vitamins? Should this be taken daily? Yes.
Good question. The thing is, when you look at B vitamins, so you have B12 is common. A lot of people talk about B12 because we know B12 in the spectrum of B vitamins. B12 is the energy vitamin primarily. You usually find persons who may be vegans and vegetarian usually are low in B12 because they do consume meat, which usually higher. However, it is not necessarily a problem, but what people like that need to understand is that you need to supplement properly. Now, contrary to popular belief, you get a lot of B vitamins from nutrient-dense greens. So things like wheatgrass, spirulina, chlorella, alfalfa, those type of things. As it relates to a B complex, I'm a big advocate of that because it is needed. It should be used daily. The B12, however, you need to be a bit careful with B12 because B12 has because of the sources of B12 most of the time, if you're taking a B12 vitamin or a B vitamin, you realize your urine tends to get very bright in color. And that is because the sources of B12 most of the time and the assimilation aspect, a lot of people do not assimilate B vitamin properly. So the trick is, I always tell persons, when you're using B vitamins, make sure you use it with a meal that is a proper meal, in the sense that it should be maybe your lunch, which would normally have your complex carbohydrates, so whether you may have 1 or 2 pieces of provision. If you're in the rice thing, well, we know not too much of the rice, especially white rice, but you should maybe have the meal half and half with maybe some provision and some brown rice. And then, of course, you have your salad aspect associated with it. And when you do it like that, you find that you're going to get some absorption. I tend to use it with smoothies because I find with smoothies the absorption is better because one is liquid, but it is so condensed that the assimilation is better. Remember, liquid always goes through the bloodstream faster and is assimilated better. Surface area to volume ratio, right? So, like for example, if you do a smoothie with let me give you an example. So let's say you do a smoothie with banana. You have some oats in that. You have some chia seeds, some flaxseed, and you put what again, boy? You put a little some peanut butter, maybe like about a tablespoon. You could actually use that and use the B12 vitamin with it, and you find that you see less in the urine because the assimilation is better. You do not go on the premise that you should not use vitamins because you're basically giving yourself expensive urine. That is not entirely true. But what you have to understand is that if you have an assimilation problem, you don't only have a problem with vitamins, and you also have a problem with the regular food that you're consuming. So all in all, if you have a assimilation problem, so now I'm speaking to the people who have things like GERD, which is gastrointestinal reflux disease, acid reflux, bloating, constipation. If you have been diagnosed with inflammatory bowel conditions, so things like Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, diverticulitis, it means that you need to have your digestion checked so that you could actually have proper assimilation and your body could now utilize the nutrients and the macronutrients from the food that you're consuming. That's actually one of the biggest problems we see in integrative and natural medicine, which a lot of Western doctors are not aware of. A lot of persons have poor assimilation. Earlier in the discussion, I discussed leaky gut. And I mean, I could do programs on leaky gut. There are a lot of persons. There was actually a study done by a doctor from Harvard University, in 2022. He did that study in 2019. I could always find it and put it up on our page, because that's some of the things we're going to do in a little bit. We're actually doing over our website. I apologize that we had it down so long, but we were actually doing all the payment portals and all those things because of the international situation with credit cards and that type of thing. So, of course, you have to dot your I's and cross your T's with those things, right? And with that now, when we put it up, we're going to have a lot of reading material that we're going to put up there. So I'm going to actually find that and put it there for you guys. But the point is, one of the things that he did a study with children, so adolescents. So he was looking at 12 to 18 years. And he looked at 1,000 children. It was in children in maybe about 10 different countries. And one of the things that he found is that these children were children with specific diagnoses. So they had diabetes, they had lupus, they had ADDH, attention deficit hyperintensity disorder, dyslexia, and those type of things. And what he found is that when they examined the gut or the intestines of these children, 98% of them had leaky gut. So they were attributing leaky gut, which persons like myself have been saying for years, where once you have poor intestinal health, you are open to a number of diseases, primarily cancer. Because there was another study that they did where they look at cancer patients. So they look at persons with pancreatic cancer, colorectal cancer, rectal cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer, endometrial cancer, uterine cancer, and what was the other one? Boy, there was one more. Lung cancer. And what they found is that when they looked at the intestines of these persons, again, I think it was in 95th percentile, they found that they had leaky gut. So this leaky gut situation is a serious situation. So keep in mind, your gastrointestinal system is the most important organ system in your body. Always keep that in mind. Once that system is healthy, you can balance the odds. Your blood pressure is going to read better. Your blood sugar is going to read better. You're going to sleep better. A lot of persons do not know that your gut is referred to as your second brain. A lot of people do not know that. Your gut is your second brain. In fact, we shouldn't even say second brain. That's your first brain. Because they have attributed gut diseases and gut parasites, gut infection to mental illness. Because what you end up with, people with depression, people with anxiety, people with things like schizophrenia, bipolar, obsessive compulsive disorder, when you look at the gut, you examine the gut of these individuals properly, you realize that they have situations with pathogens. Because the thing is, pathogens, all pathogens have specific palettes. So let me school you a little bit here. There is a disease known as Chagas disease. You can research it. Chagas disease is a disease where there's a particular pathogen that leaves your intestines and it goes up to your heart. And this particular parasite or pathogen, all they like to consume is the wall, or what is referred to as the myocardium of your heart. Now, you sit down and think about that for a while. You going around good, you minding your business. You going to work every day, working hard to mind your family, your wife, your children. And you not aware that it have a fella inside, it have some people inside that you there. I refer to them as people, but you understand what I mean. And the sole purpose is to eat the wall of your heart. That is sounding good. You ain't gonna last long. Now let me give you this one. There is something known as toxoplasmosis. Do some research on that. In my 13 years, I have treated 5 people successfully with that. Listen to me, you don't want this, you know. So this particular pathogen has no other, he find nothing else to do when the day come but to burrow up himself. So he passing, going up in the bloodstream, and he finds himself at the back of your eyes. And his taste is to consume the tissue at the back of your eyes. You just sit down and listen to that. You could imagine that. So when we talk about gut health and we talk about pathogens, that's why it has so much people now. I tell you, you're sick and you don't know why you're sick. You're going to the doctor, they're running tests. Just recently, I had a client, well, like about 2 months ago. They brought reports from 6 specialists for me. You know, if you see the size of the thing. When these people come in my office, I said, nah, man, I'm doing a second PhD here. I just scan it through quick, because I don't know what is the problem. I told them, I said, listen to me, let's spin it top in mud here. All kind of fancy diagnosis, you know. You know what was the problem? That individual had serious gastrointestinal problems. They had serious lymphatic problems because the person had they had chronic dehydration. Your body is 70% water. Dominic tell me to behave myself today, I'm going to behave. But if you have chronic dehydration, your intestines depend on what? Do you know when you Dominic drinking the water earlier? Do you know when you are dehydrated, your body takes water from where first? Your colon. It literally takes water from your colon and your stool. So it's going to dry out. That is why people who do not drink water most of the time end up with what? Constipation. And this poor child running up and down spent thousands of dollars. In fact, it could have passed $100,000. And they couldn't find an answer. 6 specialists. And I sit down in 5 minutes. I'm not just saying this to boast, but I know my work inside out. But you have to understand, you have to deal with the root cause of the problem. If you have 100 dominoes and you push down the 100 dominoes, which domino do you pick up first? I'll answer that question at the end of the program. You all think about it. Visualize it in your mind. If you have 100 dominoes stacked in a line together, the domino effect, and you push down the 100 dominoes, which domino do you pick up first? Do you pick up the last domino, which is the symptomology? So do you pick up the high blood pressure? Do you pick up the diabetes? Do you pick up the cardiovascular disease? Do you pick up the skin problem, the lota, the rash, the eczema, the hormonal imbalance, the painful menstrual cycle, the headaches? I always tell people this. There is no such thing as migraine headaches and cluster headaches. That is foolishness. If you have persistent chronic, unless a hunger headache is completely different. I would get a hunger headache. I have to make sure and eat every 3 hours. Even when I have a busy day and my clinic is packed and I'm working at consultants, even if I'm working by myself, I take time out to eat. Because if I do, and you know why is that? Because your brain is the only organ in the body that uses what for energy? Your brain does not use fat. Your brain has to use what? Sugar. So if you end up with hunger headaches, people who end up with hunger headaches is your blood sugar. That's your brain starting to go into crisis there. So your head start to hurt you. That's a different headache. But you don't tell me you have migraine headaches and cluster headaches for years. No, you're inside dirty toxins. You need a crew to go inside of there and clean up. And so said, so done with this particular individual, I was correct. When we started the protocol, we started the cleansing, we started the detoxifying, we started hydrating the body. The results were astronomical. And this is an individual who had this problem for over 8 years. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Miss Petel. She says, Dr. Batson, I used the teas, water, and the santulan. I am good. Was doing some radiation now, but never. Till now, but never did. I also listened to the things that you mentioned to eat, and I have gotten some good results. Okay, so yeah, so that's what. So Dominic, sir, let's take these people questions.
Okay, let's take this call here. Oh, right, that's right. I'm taking that. Let's see. Good morning. Here we go. We have another voice note here, so let's see if we can get this on.
Where they were talking about they use the product. Yeah. For some reason, I not hear any voice note, Dominic. I don't know.
Hear any person?
No, I not hear it. No. I don't know if we have a technical something.
I have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll just ask Shaki to check it for me. You see it?
All right, cool. No problem. So, all right, so just say.
Yeah, try it again, Dominic.
You getting it right?
Yeah, he now check it. So play it again. Let me see if I hear it.
All right.
No. Same thing. I get it. No, I don't know what it is there. You want to tell me what it is? I'm not hearing it. We'll keep checking though, but I'm not sure if it's on your end or my end.
You're not getting it at all?
I'm not getting it at all.
All right, no problem. So we'll work on that. So what a lady was just saying there, and that's Miss Charles. She says, thank you so very much for assisting the persons that she's been sending to you. They come back to her and they boast. She is saying that she is a sales rep.
Oh, okay.
A sales rep for you.
A sales rep for me. All right, well, Miss Charles, I don't make sure I organize it accordingly, man. I always appreciate people who send business for me. So
yes, man,
I make sure and treat you very well. So thank you so very much for that. And I'm glad that they got the results that they were looking for.
Amen. All right. Let's see.
Yeah, let me just make mention of this with Miss Alicia White James. I'm smiling this morning. Miss James say, good morning, Dr. Batson. Always a pleasure to listen to your program. My mother and I are satisfied customers from Point 14 since becoming clients as of the 30th of March this year. The results have been excellent. However, we visited the penal office yesterday between 4:45 and 5 p.m. and unfortunately, the digestive product which I purchased for my mother was not replaced into the bag with the other products I purchased. Please inform Ms. Roma that I will collect it on Wednesday. Thank you. Okay, good. No problem. I'll do that. Yes.
All right. Because of time, Doc, we're going to have to punch it a little bit, right?
Okay, good. No problem.
All right. Wonderful. Good morning, Dr. Bbatson and Dominic. Question for today. Can cancer patients eat eggs?
Oh, that's a good question. That's actually a very good question. I'd say yes. Yeah. The thing is, preparation is important. Like with everything, there are a lot of things that you can eat, but it's how you're prepared. So let me give you an example. If you're doing the people egg, for want of a better expression, ideally, I prefer common fowl egg. I always tell persons, anybody selling common fowl, if you can common fowl eggs, you can contact me. You could ask for my information. Because right now, my supplier, little low, and I get serious stress where that is concerned. Simply because that is what I prefer, because the quality of the egg is a better quality. Eggs are very healthy. I tell persons, if you have vegan, vegetarian persuasions as regards to your religious belief, I have no problem with that. I respect that. But from a nutritional perspective, eggs are very healthy, especially if you get the common fowl eggs. I mean, the protein, the eggs have a lot of, they have something called choline, which is actually very good for your body, it's good for your cells, it's good for your eyes. So a cancer patient, I would just suggest you do boiled eggs, or you do, if you're doing omelette, you use some sort of sensible oil, which would either be like your coconut oil, your grapeseed oil, or maybe your avocado oil. But you can use eggs. Cancer patients, the foods that you are not allowed to eat or you should not partake of at all is processed food. Anything in a tin, do not use it. Meat, specific type of meats, especially pork, you should not watch it, you should not touch it, you shouldn't pass close to it. Sugars, especially things with modified cornstarch and those type of things. So things like soft drinks, juices, that type of thing. Your diet could be sensible, but primarily clean. Cancer doesn't like anything green. So greens are your friend. Chlorophyll, spirulina, chlorella, alfalfa. You have to be careful with the cruciferous. So things like broccoli and pak choy and those type of things, you need to be a little careful with, because in some cases, those things can kind of aggravate the thyroid, depending on the type of cancer that you have. So if you have thyroid cancer, or maybe some sort of cancer that affects the endocrine system, hormonal system, so things like uterine cancer, cervical cancer, that type of thing, you don't want cruciferous vegetables. But things like your spinach, plenty callaloo, those type of things. Green all the way. Moringa is the next thing. Cancer don't like those things. So it's all about, you hear people talking about alkaline in the body, which is true to an extent, but it's a matter of now giving your body nutrition that your body could now utilize the nutrition to put up a proper fight. Let me just stick a quick comment in here. We do cancer diets and cancer protocols. I carry a wide selection of products specifically for treating and dealing with cancer. And, I've had some clients who have gotten some exceptionally good results. So that's something that you could look at there as well.
All right. So someone wants you to explain, I guess, like you do, Sjogren's syndrome.
Sjogren's syndrome. Are they going to send me back to school? Let me just do a quick search to remember what that is.
Sjogren.
I think this had to do something with hormones.
I see here it's a disorder of your immune system.
Yeah. Talk about dry eyes and dry mouth. Yeah. The thing is, any immune system challenge, again, gastrointestinal. So okay, so Sjogren's lupus. Let me stick a pin in here for lupus. People who I feel so sorry for. So sorry. I've helped a few people with lupus successfully. Again and again, lupus persons and people with autoimmune conditions, your journey is a little longer than things like diabetes and hypertension, but it's a successful journey based on what I said at the beginning of the program. Discipline and consistency will carry you way further than talent. So with Sjogren's and those type of diseases, it is simply your body's immune system being overactive. But the immune system is doing what it's supposed to do. But you know what is the problem? The inflammatory response is too high. There's a blood test that is done in medicine known as a ESR. It's an acronym. The E stands for erythrocyte, the S stands for sedimentation, and the R stands for ratio. So you could go and research it. I interestingly just recently had a client who came to me, and we were actually able to reduce the ESR. It's a client I deal with the kidneys, and we got some excellent results. When I tell you excellent results. And I have the blood test to prove it, where they had serious reductions in their bond, the creatinine improved, there was reductions in the GFR went up. Your GFR is your glomerular filtration rate. So the person's kidney moved from 3B to 3A. So we're working on it to carry it up to 2, right? Because when you have a kidney situation, you always want your glomerular filtration rate to be 3A and up. So you want to be 3A, 2, and 1. You don't ever want to be 3B, 4. Well, God forbid if you're 5. That's real problems. Okay? So we could deal with that situation. There's a product that we usually carry at Batson & Associates known as Optimizer, and there is one known as Alpha. Those are free radical scavengers. So what free radical scavengers do is that they break down free radical damage in the body, and it reduces what is known as oxidative stress. So when you reduce oxidative stress, you reduce inflammation. And when you reduce inflammation, you're actually able to fix certain autoimmune conditions. But keep in mind that your diet and hydration is fundamental. So if you've never tried out the Alkagen water that we carry at Batson & Associates, 3 bottles of Alkagen water is not more than $100. You can try it and you will see some benefits as it relates to your general health. If you have arthritis, problems with headaches, you have problems with bowel movement, that type of thing, you could check out that. Back to you, Dominic.
All right. All right. So, good morning, Doc. I'm 65 years old. I used 2 packs of Santolan and it made me very weak. I could hardly stand. Can you say or tell me what caused this? I had a hysterectomy quite a while now. Can I take the woman's formula or what else can I take? Now, back up a little bit here. This person, in a previous session, they would have indicated that this hysterectomy occurred over 30 years ago. And they only took out 1 ovary, but the lower part of their belly started growing a lot of fat. They exercise regularly and they eat less, but they feel like that fat wasn't going away. All right?
Okay. All right. So, okay, Santolan, you used 2 packs of Santolan, you felt weak. But the thing is, when you use the first one, I mean, and we did follow up with you, or you could have called us, you know? Remember that communication is very important, right? The thing is, Santolan, remember, is a 7-channel detox. The only person who would use Santolan and really end up weak in a weakened situation is if you have low blood count. And that is a question that we normally ask you, or we will send you to do a blood test where we look at the complete blood profile. So the possibility exists maybe you had a little low blood count and you may not have been aware of it, and neither were we aware of the situation. So definitely you need to build up the blood count. So from the home perspective, you're looking at things like beetroots, carrots, molasses is also a very good way to build up your blood count. A teaspoon, and we do carry the blackstrap molasses, the sulfur-free one, glass bottles at Batson & Associates. We have that available, right? So the blood count needs to be built up. Now, the thing is, if you had a hysterectomy done, regardless of how long the hysterectomy may have been done, and if you remove 1 ovary and you only have 1, it means that you would have some hormonal imbalance challenges. So I would suggest, in terms of going forward now, okay, leave Santolan alone for now. You're looking at the advanced chlorophyll, the mineral formula with the silver, the woman's formula, and you use that over a 2-month period, and you should see some results. As regards to the fat situation, the thing with, and this is something I always explain to persons, tissue in the uterus is very funny type of tissue. So usually when you do hysterectomies, there's something known as adhesion and scar tissue. And that is very problematic because it actually causes fat buildup in that particular area. So what you may have to do is you may have to do some castor oil. You get the black Jamaican castor oil. You mix it half and half with coconut oil. And so what you do, the ratio is 1-to-1. So based on the area that you have to apply the oil, you will use the ratio accordingly. So if it's a larger area, then you're looking at 2 teaspoons to 2 teaspoons. If it's a smaller area, you're looking at 1 teaspoon to 1 teaspoon. You mix the oil, you slightly heat it, and you apply the castor oil with the coconut oil now, and you rub it, you warm it a bit, and you apply it there, you know, massage it in, massage from the front lower aspect of your stomach, lower abdomen there, come straight across around your back to the next area. And what you do, you get some sort of glad wrap, and you wrap it there, and you do that every night before you go to sleep. What that is going to do is going to help with lymphatic drainage, and it's going to actually pull the fat, you know. So you're going to have to do it over a period of time, I don't know how exercise is. I can't remember if exercise was mentioned in the discussion there. She did say something about exercise, Dominic?
It was, yeah.
Okay, good. Right. And continue doing the exercise. However, if you're in a weakened state right now, you have to be careful the type of exercise you do. So I would just suggest you do maybe some walking, maybe 15 minutes a day, maybe walk right in your yard, up and down. Don't go anywhere outside where, you could fall along or anything like that. But definitely, as I said, your blood count wants some addressing, and that is something we always tell persons. So I don't know what happened in this particular situation, and I am not blaming you. Keep in mind, we will take responsibility. But we always, and that's why I say on the radio, and the people who work with me, especially front desk staff, is trained with some level of consultancy. If you know you have a low blood count issue, you cannot use the Santulan. And we always tell persons that the problem is some of y'all does be so hurried to lose the weight, you doesn't listen. I'm not saying that's the situation with you, but I know that happened in the past. So if you know your blood count is low, Santulan is not to be used at a particular point in time. We will guide you accordingly. We build up your blood count, and then we gently introduce the Santulan. Keep that in mind, okay? Those telephone numbers for the Shogunas office. Shogunas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Dave is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. Keep in mind, we have open clinic day in Shoguna's office for this entire week. So we will be taking walk-ins. Keep in mind, if you are a walk-in and you're coming for a consultation, you do not need to fast. But if you are coming with the intention to do the blood analysis, the live blood analysis, the dry blood analysis, the magnetic resonance analysis scan, the food detox, and the executive consultation, which is the package that we have, you need to fast for 2 hours. Okay? I will be in Dede, God's willing, Saturday coming. So those of you who may have had appointments, those of you who may have been waiting to get a consultation with us and you want to do a walk-in, you could take advantage of that. That number for Debe again is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number is 220-8113, 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553, 226-4553. Dominic, to you, sir.
All right. Caller.
Good morning. Morning, gentlemen. My question is, I have some chlorophyll and the silver. However, at present, I can't afford the two at the same time. Dr. Bbatson, which one do you recommend I buy now?
Is there a particular situation that you want to deal with?
Well, I came to you, I have a fibroid situation.
Okay. All right. So here what to do. Go with the chlorophyll and get a bottle of, do you have any issue with apple cider vinegar? Any aversion? Does it burn your chest? Does it give...
apple cider vinegar, yes.
Okay, good. So take the chlorophyll and you take a tablespoon of chlorophyll together with a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and you mix it in an 8 to 12 ounce glass of water. First thing in the morning, make sure and use a straw. You do that in the morning and you do that in the night. And you'll be well on your way to getting some improvement.
Okay, because I was wondering which between the two is...
Yeah, would be better for your situation. But based on what you just told me there, go with that and you will start to get some good results.
Okay, one more thing.
Yes.
My husband has a white tongue.
Right.
And I'm wondering what's the use to fix that white tongue. It has not to brushing his teeth.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
The tongue is white.
Yeah, it's coated. That is, your tongue is an exact replica of the lining of your intestine. So
what?
it is the exact replica of the lining of your intestines. So if he has a coated tongue, that is really a gastrointestinal problem. When was the last time he took a detox?
Well, since after he had COVID and went to the hospital, and after that, he had that
situation. Well, right. So the thing is, remember, COVID is a virus. And then if he was in the hospital for a period of time, he would have gotten a barrage of antibiotics and that type of thing. So that would have caused some compromise to the gastrointestinal system. So if he doesn't have a situation with weakness, what I would suggest you do is does he have hypertension?
No.
Okay, good. So baking soda, half teaspoon baking soda, 8 ounces of water, first thing in the morning. If finances permit, he can get the Santulan, and he can use, there's a tea we have called the gastrointestinal tea. Not expensive, the gastrointestinal tea. You could get a few packs of that, and he starts with that. And he should see some results there.
All right, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
625-2759 or 624-7729. Those are the numbers that you call. Do not call my WhatsApp number. All right, next. Good morning. Can a person drink a glass of aloes water every day for circulation?
The thing, okay. Okay, so with these kind of home remedies, now Dr.Bbatson, this have to give a disclaimer. Because, somebody don't listen. And measurement is important. So the thing is, I am big on home remedies, and I'm not saying no, but you see, the thing is, you tell people you tell them use 1 teaspoon, and they want to lose all the weight one time, and then they go and use 2 tablespoons. They end up in the hospital, and they go and tell people that Batson was on the radio, and good. I'm not going through that with none of you. Good. Aloes is a funny thing, and I'll tell you why. Aloes can cause bleeding, especially with women. So if you use it, I wouldn't recommend you use aloes for that long, especially for circulation. Aloes has a lot of benefits, but circulation is not one of the forefront. There are a number of things that beat back aloes way faster where circulation is concerned. And then keep in mind, when you're using aloes, you have to peel aloes very carefully, where you get just the gel aspect of the aloes and not the green part. The green part of the aloes, the lower part, that is what is caused the gripe. That has a particular chemical in it. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, a particular substance that it could be problematic, especially to the intestines, especially to a female who has situations already with menstrual cycle and that type of thing. So, my rule of thumb is an inch. If it is a look, if you watch your index finger, you see those lines there? Those are usually like about an inch. So if you get the aloes, the gel part of the aloes, you peel it properly, make sure it's the gel part. Take an inch. If you blend up that in some water and you drink that every 3 days for like about 2 weeks, you're good. Or like for about a month. We can live with that. But do not use aloes in excess. Even turmeric. Just recently I was talking to somebody quickly. You have to be careful because remember measurement. Remember you have a root, and as I said, I'm a big advocate of traditional medicine and that type of thing. But your measurement is important. That is what they used to beat us with long time ago. Where a lot of these doctors, they say don't use this because so your measurement is important. An inch wouldn't kill you. So your same thing. You get your turmeric. You take an inch. You blend it up or you pong it up. You steep it in about 8 to 12 ounces of water. You drink that. If you drink that twice for the week, you're good. Ginger, same thing. Your measurement is important, especially if you're on medication and you're on blood thinners. So if you know you're taking aspirin, you're taking, well, God forbid, if you're taking warfarin and Clexine and this next thing, I can't remember the next one. You have to be very, very, very careful with turmeric and aloes and those type of things. So let's not complicate the thing and make the things difficult. If you don't know, ask a question. You cannot die with an inch. So that's some free best advice you get here this morning. An inch wouldn't kill you. All right, good.
You said and I'm laughing because my thought was a little while ago you mentioned that you're going to put up things to read on the website. And
yes, sir.
Don't really believe in these people. No, really believe that people out here reading.
Well, I've been hopeful. I know Trinidadians don't like to read them, especially outside. They will show away. They'll buy a television, show away the box with the manual, and then go to set up the TV and say, but the people TV ain't good. They will blame everybody except themselves, and they show away the manual.
Mm-hmm. All right, let me see. Okay, so on their upper lip, there are some fine heats just raising under the skin. What can they use?
The thing is, usually when you have heats on any part of your body, especially areas like lips and like palms of your hand, sole of your feet, the front of your elbow, which would be the inside portion, there where your arm bends, and then the other aspect, which is the opposite side of your knee, which is where you normally get the bending. Those are the parts of the body. When you see a get that, that's indication of heat. But so again, detox. God's willing, we already have teas. They just unstuff in the container. So we would get teas next week. I'm praying God they bring those teas for us. So your circulation tea, your liver tea. Liver tea is a very good tea that we carry at Batson and Associates. And that is one of the teas that works well with skin and rash and those type of things. The skin tea is also a very good product. The puer, very good tea as well. Circulation, which, well, that's one of the number one. We never have enough of that. Those teas help with, so if you know you're looking and you have not done a detox in a while, I'm saying it again, Trinidad and Tobago, the listeners of Sky 99.5, please, because some of y'all don't listen, is ensure that you do your water cleanse first. If you know you have a situation with weakness, the water, the chlorophyll, the silver with the mineral formula. Depending on your budget, if you know your budget a little thing, because we know school now open, they buy books and all this type of thing. There's a tea we carry called oolong tea, puer tea. Those teas are building teas that could help build up your blood count and is a reasonably, thing. So we working with your budget, I just work with anybody budget, because we need to get you where you need to go with what you have. If you understand what I'm saying. But you need to be practical in anything. You can't go to the mechanic to go and do a service and the man tell you to change your oil and filter, and you tell him you only have money to change your oil. Then you ain't really making sense, right? So we have to be practical in anything. Peace. Let me make a point quickly. There was someone on Instagram. Instagram said products are good, but they are expensive. Let me tell you something. When you have to work for price, so let me break down this real fast. Let me tell you something. You know how much for a triple bypass? I have a lot of doctors and my very good friends. I work with doctors on a daily basis. As regards to referrals, I send people blood tests, whatever the case may be. Right? A triple bypass, depending on the hospital you go. We know the private hospitals, I don't want to call the name. You're looking at a $200 and something plus $1,000. And let me tell you something. You don't feel the way you heard the program at the Genesis with the seal. So all the people who is be talking expensive talk, listen to me, prioritize. Because the same child you had to buy books for, the same car you had to pay for, the same mortgage you had to pay for the house that you live in, when you're dead, somebody else will pay it.
Sure.
Somebody will pay it for you. I just always tell all of that. So I'm not saying, and I always tell people this, you don't even if you don't ever come to Batson and Associates, take care of yourself. It must have somebody selling something to help you. You don't want to come to me, but understand the rational of the thing. I said the old people are saying, watch me, think about that, An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. How much ounces make a pound? 16 ounces, right? Right? I correct there? Yeah. I think so, yeah. Or is it 8? Because I think in water. No, I think it's 16, man. Yeah, I'll check it still, but I believe I'm correct, man. So in any case, you have to understand the mathematics. I'll tell you something quickly. I had a client just some months ago. They had a situation, emergency situation. But the person became a client after the emergency. I'm telling you the story quick. They had to go to a particular nursing home in South. They take in emergency, that'll rush them. When they went to the nursing home, they spent 5 days. That 1 or 2 tests, they gave them some antibiotics, they did some things. They're in South Trinidad. Now, all they can't vex with the nursing home, because the nursing home medical care is very expensive. Whether you are concerned that the government of Trinidad is not doing the job properly, and I'm not getting involved in politics, understand why I'm saying and how I'm saying it. Your health is your responsibility, your own. I always tell people the hospital is for emergency. The hospital is not Hyatt. When you go in the hospital, what it is give it to eat? It's bread you just get to know. Where you feel you're going to get quinoa and avocado and lettuce, fancy salad with lettuce and grapes and blue cheese and feta cheese. You're not in Hyatt, you're not in the Carlton Savannah, you're in the hospital. So you have to take what you get. Now, whether the authorities providing what they're supposed to provide is our next discussion. But I am not having that discussion. I am not a politician. I'm talking to people who want to take care of themselves and who want to feel good. So stop the nonsense and talking about things expensive. There is a financial consequence to everything. The weave you have in your hair, the shoes on your foot, the shirt on your back, the car you drive to go to church this morning, you had to pay for it. So if you have to take something for your body, this wonderful body that the Creator gave you, don't tell me nothing about expensive, because when you see sickness take you, listen to me, nothing works better than the original. Always remember that. The eye that God gave you, nothing does work better than that. So don't let nobody tell you no foolishness about your cataract and you have to go and do lens replacement. You go and do lens replacement and find out what's going on with you. Plenty of them blind, they cannot see. And let people put injection in your eye, because plenty time, if you did focus on taking care of yourself when you was younger, or even taking care of yourself when you was older, and listening and not drinking alcohol and doing things that you wasn't supposed to be doing, or using in moderation, you would not end up which part you end up. Let me talk facts now. Right? That individual who went to that nursing home for 5 days, you cannot be vexed with the nursing home. The nursing home is a private organization. They have to pay qualified doctors. When you have to do a surgery, you know how the doctors who doing the surgery have to rent the theater. To rent a theater, as far as I know, is about $20 to $25 or $30,000 to rent a theater, depending on the theater and the surgery that you're doing. Things cost money, and you have to understand that. So it pays for that 5 days. You know how much they spend? $150,000. How many of y'all have $150,000 if something happened to you to go and lie down in a nursing home for 5 days? Let's be practical about the situation. And don't study that Dr.Bbatson buffing up people, because I'm buffing all your peers, because some of just want some buff. As opposed to taking a little $500, as one of my competitors said the other day, I don't want to call his name, he have a rash, well, not like mine, but he have a rash. He's made a statement, if you cannot pay a certain amount of money, and he was making mention about a particular member. Because you know, as men, if it's one thing it is run down money for, is your junior member. All kind of things could go wrong with you. You could be blind, yes, seeing good. But once it is your junior member giving problems, you'll find yourself some way to get something so that you could function as a man. So let's not mix it up. It's about priorities and being practical in the situation. So don't tell me nothing about price and thing expensive. Everything expensive. They raise gas. What you gonna do? Lie down and cry? No. We have to live. And you have to take care of yourself, because there are plenty of us. If we close the eye today, your children, your wife will suffer. Because plenty of them put nothing in place. Or there must be even insurance and them kind of thing. So we need to be responsible and act responsible and like adults and take care of yourself. Because ladies and gentlemen, when you are not here, or the same car that you had to pay for, that somehow the car looking better than all you, that the house that you had to pay the mortgage for, and the bill you're taking, and the children, and this one, and the woman, and whatever the case may be, when you close your eye, they will find a replacement for you. The only entity in the world that loves you more than you, as far as I'm concerned, is God. And possibly your mother, and possibly your spouse, and possibly your children. Because it has some children, they will be very glad to see somebody die. And they even want to spend the money that you work for to come to help yourself. So let me be practical about the thing. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. There's a reason why I always tell, like I was telling somebody recently, if you come to me driving, I don't care what vehicle you're driving, I don't care what is your socio-economic bracket. That is not my business. Right? You could come to me with a Range Rover, you could be because I deal with people of all classes. All classes, all ethnicity. Every ethnicity this country have as clients, I have them. Right? So I have lower class, middle class, upper middle class, and the very affluent and wealthy. And let me tell you something. The price that you're paying for Santulan, everybody just pay that price for Santulan. I don't adjust my price for the type of people I'm dealing with. And my service is the same thing. Right? Across the board. So you have to take care of yourself, because let me tell you something. When you're sick and water more than flour, you will spend any kind of money to get better. And nothing works better than the original. There isn't a kidney. I don't care if you get a kidney from your daughter, your son, your husband. They find a match for you. They get your blood. Nothing works better than the original. Always remember that. Take care of what Almighty God give you. Take care of it. Because you cannot go in the bamboo and say, hey, go by one of them fellas and them and say, hey, I have glaucoma. Hey, I want a heart. It don't work so. And don't let them doctors and them fool you and figure they could open you and fix you. They are not God. You might live, you know. Understand what I'm saying? It has something to call stenting. Stenting is a waste of time. But if you wait for your arteries to become so blocked up and you're taken with pain in the night and they rush you in the hospital, you are now what? An emergency. There's a difference. When the body requires, the physical body requires work, you cannot come to Batson. I am not a emergency surgeon. I do not work in ENT or theater. That is not my specialization. It have doctors for that. But when water more than flour, if God forbid you're in an accident, if it is gunplay off and God forbid you get shoot or something like that, it is the emergency doctors that are trained to save your life. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about practical thing here in terms of maintenance and maintaining yourself. So you're a man and you could live your long life with your wife and you don't tell nobody telling you your prostate thing, and then it's because they take out your two prostate and you're watching your nice wife there and you can't do nothing. That's not right. Better you cut my wrist and send me on my way. Right? So as the people say, you're big and you have sense. Right? And that is not from the godly gentleman that all I heard from. My great-grandmother teach me that since I was a little boy. Right? And that is why at Batson and Associates, we tell you, if you think health expensive, try sickness. So stop talking about price. And if you had to spend $100, $200 to take care of yourself, do it and start to get better. Dominic, sir. Well, I didn't listen to you in the last half hour. That price thing is aggravating me.
I understand that very well, sir. Believe you me, I understand that.
Yeah.
As a man who delivers a service himself,
yes,
I refuse to negotiate my price.
Yeah.
Right? Let's see, my friends. All right, so we take your messages. Now, folks, I see it coming in strong.
Yeah, but
we're going rapid here now.
Yeah.
As best as we can.
Yes. You let me know when we time up, eh?
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Management, all right, good. Good morning to host and doctor. I have a mucus problem. I want to come in and do a visit, but what can be used?
In the meantime?
I guess.
Okay, in the meantime, mucus. Okay, so people who have problems with mucus, so we're looking at respiratory, right? So we're looking at lungs, sinuses, that type of thing. Okay, so from the first thing, home aspect, no cold water. Room temperature water. Introduce some hot teas in your diet. Right? No milk, no sugar. Mucus and dairy is not friends. So less down on your cheese, less down on your milk. As regards to Batson and Associates, you could call to get a visit, depending on the time it's taken to get your visit, because I know we just be booked up a lot, even though we fix in that situation. Lungs tea, which is not $1 million, that tea is a tea that is working really good. The silver or the mineral formula is also very good because that acts as a natural decongestant. I use it a lot with very young children for asthma and sinusitis and that type of thing. So those two things, I don't know your water intake, but remember, the rule for drinking water is your body weight divided by 2 ounces. So try and start to apply that and go from there. Should start to see some results there.
All right, so this person says that they need help with eczema and they wanted the name of the medical institution. All right, so I suggest at the end of the program, we will be giving out the numbers for the clinics.
Yes.
And I encourage you to find the one that is nearest to you.
Yes.
Yes,
and those of you who are social media savvy, keep in mind, we are on social media. Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad.
All right. Good morning, Dr. Batson. I became very depressed in my late teens after my dad died. The depression lasted until I was 32.
Whoa.
I took the doctor's medication for a short while because it was not helping me. I realized some strange psychological behavior in myself at the age of 42, and presently I'm now 50. I was forced to try pharmaceutical meds because my family believes it is as a result of not taking the full course of treatment the first time. I also paid a fortune on alternative medication, yet I am still suffering. What do you think about we're going to talk the products, you know. All right. But
calling specific
the listed medication here.
Oh, medication or supplements?
No, medication here.
Oh, medication.
Cymbalta,
all right.
Logmatil, and amitriptyline.
Amitriptyline. Yeah, those are normally the recommended dosage. I mean, when you get into mental health very controversial as regards to medication. But as I said in the beginning, the quickest analogy I could give, and I was speaking to someone up to recently about this. People who experience things like depression, anxiety, especially death of loved ones, especially after going through serious stressors, exams, divorce, those type of things. All it simply means, I will use an analogy that I used before. If you are a taxi driver and you're working from Port of Spain to San Fernando, you cannot service your vehicle like you're working from Port of Spain to Sawa. Mental health and your body produces something known as neurotransmitters. Neuro and nerves transmitters are messengers. The mechanism for producing neurotransmitters, or the raw material rather for producing neurotransmitters, are amino acids. What are amino acids? Amino acids are the building block of proteins. So things like L-arginine, L-citrulline, those are amino acids. People who end up with situations of depression, anxiety, and all mental health challenges are because they did not have sufficient neurotransmitters, and as a result of that, the neurological system began to shut down. The shutting down of this neurological system is going to result in specific behaviors that is now going to be diagnosed as a specific type of disease or disorder. Your diagnosis is not important. I always tell people that. So what that individual needed, and it's the same thing that happens to women with PMS. Women who have postmenopausal syndrome, if they are not treated properly and get the proper directives, they are going to end up in mental institutions for the exact same reason. When you go through menopause, because of the chemical, neurological changes in the body, it is the same analogy. What your body needs is a service or raw material or fuel to take you from Port of Spain to San Fernando. What your body has is fuel to take you from Port of Spain to San Juan. So all you understand what's going on? Your system and your neurological or your nervous system begins to shut down. So all we have to do is fix that, you know, and that is an easy fix. The problem with medication for depression and anxiety and these type of things, a lot of these things are serotonin uptake inhibitors and various inhibitors. So what they do, they alter brain chemistry. You don't want to believe me? Go, the researchers there. So that is what you have to work with. So people like that, let me tell you, when you're having problems with your nerves, there are certain things that you need. You remember we talk about B vitamins? That is when you need things like B vitamins. But what you also need, there are specific nutrition in the realm of what is known as clinical nutrition that we use. And that is why I did the product Nerve Restore. Nerve Restore is, I must we never have enough of that product. Take what I'm telling you. I use that product religiously. And what Nerve Restore does is replenish neurotransmitters or the raw material for your body to make neurotransmitters. The reason why human beings sleep is to replenish neurotransmitters, which is why if you have insomnia, your nerves start to go to wreck, you start to tremble, you cannot drive, you can't operate machinery, your cognitive function starts to decline because your body is not producing it's not replenishing neurotransmitters. So that's what we need to do. And that requires a specific dietary protocol. because I have helped a lot of persons with that situation quite successfully. Check out that testimony that we have, that we recently posted. I'm going to let Shaki repost the testimonies for all the people out there who are suffering from insomnia and depression, and all these women who feel like they're going mad. There are things to help you, but you have to dot your I's and cross your T's. You said you have a long history. I don't know who you went by, but I tell people that I have one Jason Batson in this world, and I know what I'm capable of and what I have done for people in the past. So I could help you, but it requires a proper assessment and then a proper protocol where we work with you over a period of time. Back to you, Dominic.
Thanks. And my friends, I know I see you calling. I do see you calling. We're going to try to get some of your calls inside, I promise you. We continue with the message board. Can you recommend some remedies for dry scalp in children?
Dry scalp in children. Okay, so let me give you a quick remedy for dry scalp. Now, internally, I believe in my silver with mineral formula. I believe, when I tell you I believe in that with all my heart. I have seen that product help people from cancer, from AIDS, from herpes, you name it. Magnificent product. So you're going to need to get that. You're going to get some of the advanced chlorophyll. Depending on your budget, I don't know how your money running, piece by piece, this give you a whole, right? As regards to the just remind us something, Dominic. Just somebody just shift my attention here. Sorry, just go back.
We're dealing with eczema. Dry scalp, sorry.
Dry scalp, good, right, good. I know what I was going to say. So with dry scalp, you're going to get olive oil and you're going to get apple cider vinegar. Your ratio is 1:1. So to every tablespoon of olive oil, you're using a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. So depending on the amount of care that this child has, you're going to have to work with it accordingly. But remember, you're putting it in the scalp, right? So you mix that, you take that mixture. So if your ratio is 1:1, so let's say it requires 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. You mix that, you take it and you're putting it in the child's scalp. Now, it's a child you're dealing with, so you're going to have to put them in a place because this is something going to mess up your place, so you got to be careful, right? You could put on one of those caps on the head, and you leave it on the head or leave it in the scalp rather, for 45 minutes to an hour. After that time's passed, you're going to get shampoo, whatever shampoo you are accustomed using, and the ratio of your shampoo is 1 teaspoon of shampoo to 1 tablespoon of shampoo alone. And you're using 2 tablespoons of baking soda. You mix that in the shampoo with some water and you wash the child hair out. And you do that twice a week. In about a month to 2 months' time, you're supposed to see some significant results. But we have to deal with the pathogen internally, right? So to deal with that pathogen internally, that is where you have your silver with your mineral formula, and that is something that your whole household could use. COVID ain't gone away, COVID's still there. They're telling you about monkeypox and this next one now, swine flu. So you need to keep your immune system up. So that is something that's going to help you and your household in general. So depending on your budgetary aspect, you're able to get some benefit from there, and you'll get help. And that could apply to anyone who is listening for very healthy hair, as well as for persons who may have things like, if you have dry scalp, if you have things like dandruff in your hair, that type of thing is going to help. But keep in mind that's the topical preparation, and you have to deal with it internally as well. Check the cleansing too. A Santulan could also help in that situation with the Alcogen water. And that, of course, is available at any one of our offices, or you can call the 314-9975, 314-9975, where your messages could go, and you can also get that for your on delivery, road delivery. That's why I wanted to mention.
I'm glad you mentioned the internal part, because we have a next texter here. This one from St. Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, my 20-year-old daughter has a breakout on her face. The doctor put her on antibiotics and gave her some cream. But I told her to detox the whole body. Is this good advice?
Yeah, detoxifying the body is important, but remember the rule for hydration first. I think the rule for hydration first, ensure that your body, so the body weight divided by 2 in ounces, make sure and ensure that you do that for at least a month, and then they can start to cleanse and detox, because you don't want to end up with what we call healing crisis. Healing crisis is when toxins try to leave your body faster than you want them to leave. So it could cause problems with headache, breakouts on your skin, a number of things could happen. But once you do it properly, you don't have a problem.
Caller, good morning to you. Thank you for your patience.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
Miss Bernard, I took my mom to Dr.Bbatson on the 12th of August last year for her feet checkup also. And he helped her on the second week, which was the 26th of August. My mom's feet, I have the pictures. My mom's feet from the knee go down to the toes was black. And the improvement that I saw with my mom's feet, it was so amazing. The foot started to come back to normal with certain tablets, the alpha, and the replenishing of the cell. I can't remember the name of the tablet, the other tablet, but it was so amazing. And in a month's time to 6 weeks, my mom is on her feet.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so very much for that. Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank you very much.
He's doing an excellent job. I recommend a lot of people to him. So I'd like to say thanks to Mr. Bbatson.
Thank you. You're very welcome, my dear. Very welcome. And
It is so emotional that.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, Dr. Bbatson.
Yeah.
So you have a good day.
You too, my dear. Take care. Tell your mom I said hello.
Thank you very much. See, Doc.
Yeah, boy.
And people say,
They say as a buffer. Yeah, but that's why it's buff. I tell them as a results man, you know. I out here to give people results. I ain't in too much. I mean, I talk for a living, but results. So thank you very much for that. And watchmen, that is one of many, and it just applies. That young lady, let me say thank you very much to her as well, because she's a perfect example of what children are supposed to be to their parents. She was there, she came, she listened, she wrote down all the instruction, she made sure and follow through. She's the person, the primary caregiver for her mother, and she ensured that, you know, she followed the protocol. She came back, you know, for the 1 or 2 times that we spoke, you know, she listened to instruction and that type of thing. And that's what children are supposed to do for their parents. So she, you know, she deserves some credit in this, because she listened. As I said, consistency and discipline will take you way further than talent. And that's a perfect example of when people listen and they follow the instruction, and, you know, she was able to get the results that she's looking for. And that would apply to anybody. I always tell them that once you follow the instruction, you're going to get the results that you're looking for. So that is just a perfect example again. Circulation tea, we shall get next week, please God. Those of you who have your name down for circulation tea, we're going to ensure that we call everybody next week. We should get it, I'm hoping, by mid next week. But you know, the phone company say call first, right? I don't want you to come down there and we don't have it. But we're getting it. At least by this week, we should have it.
Nice. And the products for glaucoma, you have that in stock?
We have that in stock. We have the eye optics formula. We also have IT as well. We will be getting IT. So again, those, we do have the eye drop, but I also suggest the IT as well. We have the water, we have the Santulan. Yeah. So you have like 75% of what you need there. It's just the IT we have to get. And that you could always pick up subsequently. Or we could have it delivered to you.
Nice. Good morning to you, my friend. More international listeners, thank you so very much for joining us this morning. Let's see. Caller, good morning to you. Welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I am a hypertensive.
Right.
But what happened, I started getting these headaches and I'm going to bed. So what I did, for 3 in the morning, I took aloes and molasses. And I'm trying now to drink a lot more water. But
Okay, so tell me something. Let me interrupt for a second. So do you normally test your blood pressure?
Yes.
So when you test it in the morning, when you're testing it in the morning or the night?
Morning.
So what is the readings you're getting?
Well, this morning when I tested, it was it was 158.99.
Right. Do you use high blood pressure medication?
Yes,
Which-
but not it.
Not every day, but which one you use? Nifedipine?
No, I'm using Saxamol 10.
Right.
Off the radio.
Yeah, just take off the radio now, my dear. Or move from the radio. Yeah, we get a feedback. Thanks. Yeah, just take off
The
that.
other one, approval,
Right.
50 milligrams.
Oh, okay. Whoa, you're using some strong medication there, boy. All right. But okay, so how much water you drink on a daily basis? Honestly.
About 6 bottles, the normal size,
The 16-ounce bottles or the 12 ounce?
the 12 ounce.
The 12 ounce. So you're drinking how much of that?
Sometimes I drink 4, sometimes I try to drink 6.
Okay, cool. So which means you're only reaching about you gotta drink more. You gotta drink a little more water than that, though. Okay, so what I said, and when was the last time you took a detox?
Well, I do the aloes and the molasses, and right now I got a purge pack, and I'm going to take that to my people because I take 3 mornings of the aloe and the molasses.
No, but here what you have to do, you have to be careful there, you know. You're doing that backwards. So here what to do. Do not take the purge pack and do not take the aloes and molasses again. Your water for the next, today is what? Today is Sunday. So for the next, right, today's the second or the third? Second, right. So what you're doing for me, for the next 2 weeks, you're upping your water and you're going to drink at least 80 ounces of water. So see if you could drink at least, okay, wait, what you're currently doing there, add like about 2 more bottles to what you're doing there. So because we have to do it gradually, right? That is your water. I want you to leave out useless drinks. So no coffee. Do you drink coffee? No, you don't? So you stop already. Okay, good. No coffee, no soft drink, no juice, right? And you're just drinking water for the next 2 weeks. At the end of drinking the water, then you're going to have to do a detox. Because you see what happening there with the aloes and molasses, that's going to start to send up your pressure, you know. And if you take that purge back, you're going to end up in some problems. You could give yourself a stroke there. You need to up that water. The alkagen water I was talking about, I don't sell Kangen water. I sell alkagen water, ALKA-GEN. And the thing with the alkagen water is that it has ORP, which is oxidative reduction potential, which means the water is an antioxidant water, but the clusters in the water is also a microclustered water. So you'll realize if you start to use that water, what you do, you'll urinate more because the water actually starts to cleanse from a cellular level. That's what's going on with your body there, no? You have too much toxins in the body. And when you're dealing with high blood pressure, if you're not hydrated enough and you go and you use a cleanse, it's going to dump all the toxins in your bloodstream and it's going to cause the blood pressure to go up too high. And that could put you in problems.
Well, since I'm listening to you, I'm drinking more water.
You're drinking more water. Okay, very good. So what you...
It's not high as it used to be.
Okay, very good. Well, it used to be real high before, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I check it, even when I go to the clinic,
Yeah.
it's like 195 over 195 and that kind of thing.
No, but the thing is, when you go to the clinic, what has happened? You can end up with white coat syndrome, which is where your subconscious mind is actually overtake your conscious mind. So what we're looking at that is important is the figures that you get in at home. So once you take that advice that I tell you, so don't use the aloes with the molasses again. Don't use that. Use the water for the next 2 weeks. If you could get the alkagen water, which area are you located in? La Joquita, right. So you could get either Shogunas or you could get St. James, or if you want it on delivery, you could call the office and they could send it on delivery for you. And you do that for 2 weeks. Beg your pardon?
Okay, so where is St. James?
St. James is Red Edge Mall. That's when you're going down after once you're driving on the Southern Main Road, you pass not Southern, sorry, Western Main Road, sorry. You're passing what landmark I want to give you, boy? The people who sell furniture, the yellow people, I call it. You continue going down. We in Red Edge Mall, which is a red and white building. Everybody knows which part it is. It's opposite. Yeah. And the number for that office is 220-8113. 220-8113. They could always send a location for you, or if you search it online, you will.
But I'm on your thing there on Facebook, you know.
Oh, okay, well, good. You're following me on Facebook. Well, the information there. You could just search and you'll get it. So don't take the aloes again, eh? And don't use that perch pack. 2 weeks, water, and then you're going to use the cleanse.
So then I can use the perch pack in 2 weeks' time.
Well, what I really want to tell you about that perch pack, I can't tell you on the radio. But call your office. All right, darling?
All right, love. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
take care of yourself.
All right, bye.
All right.
We don't want to tell you to throw away your money. But to throw away your money.
Oh, God.
Oh gosh. Hey. Good morning. How much of the homemade CMOS recipe that you gave should we drink per day? That is the question.
Repeat that question, sorry.
How much of the homemade CMOS recipe that you gave should we have per day?
Well, the thing is, if you know you have a problem with your joints, you know your bones giving you trouble, you have bad problems with your back, you have sciatica, you have cervical spondylosis, you have all them fancy back issue, you could use the CMOS remedy like about, I would say twice for the day. If your pain is really debilitating, if they're telling you about knee replacement and those type of things, then you could use the CMOS twice for the day. And talking about that, look, it's a good thing you say that Batson Associates have finally gotten CMOS for the people. Yeah, so we have CMOS.
Yes, but not jelly.
Yeah,
but
we have well, the CMOS come before the jelly, you know. If the CMOS both reach first and the jelly both behind, it's not my fault.
You say that is still at the wait line for the jelly. Wait and see. Wait and see. Oh,
my partner Dominic, why? Dominic, how we time going? I mean, I know I have some shares in. I know you. Yeah.
You and I both know you have some shares inside.
Guardian Media going to send me a bill.
I am giving us 9 more minutes.
All right, sir.
We have some messages and the calls keep coming in, but guys, I don't request it. I let you know. I can't get no more. I'm not taking no more. I know what is my last message.
Yeah.
I'm not going beyond that. Right? And I am not taking any repeat texters. All right? I'm trying to give everybody an opportunity this morning.
Yes.
Let me see. Good morning, Dr.Bbatson. Drinking chlorophyll every day. Good or bad idea?
Good idea, man.
Good idea.
Good idea. Great idea.
Can you use bitter melon as a detox? Yes or no?
You can. However, you need to be careful with your blood sugar levels. Remember, bitter melon belongs to a category of, there are some chemicals in there that actually does some work with insulin and blood glucose. So if you're using it, you don't want to use it too much because it can actually lower your blood sugar dangerously, and then you could end up hypoglycemic. Again, measurement is very, very important where that is concerned. I'm gonna have to do some tweaking. There was something I used to recommend before, but off the top of my head I can't remember it. I'm gonna have to look, and if it's anything next program, I could also mention it. As regards to the remedy for the scalp, a lot of persons asking for it on social media, and I know a lot of persons who would have heard it on the radio. So I'm going to repeat it next week, and I'm going to do it up in such a way and have Shakil post it up on our social media for you guys. Yeah.
Right. Wonderful. Someone is asking about scalp psoriasis, so can we also have that posted on the on the social media pages?
Yes, most certainly.
Wonderful. All right. And what do you have to combat celiac and pterygium?
pterygium, boy, celiac. You think celiac is a controversial thing, you know. People who are told that they have celiac disease, I mean, essentially, you need to change your diet because too much of flour is not necessarily good for you. Now, the thinking with people who talk about celiac is that they talk about gluten. But you have to understand in the grains and the nuts family, gluten is something you can't really get away from in a lot of your foods. So people who are diagnosed with celiac, it's not really celiac you have, no. What you really have is you have your liver. Any allergic reaction or any allergy is a manifestation of the liver because your liver is going to identify certain chemicals as toxin and give an allergic response to the body. So people who really have, it again comes back to the initial discussion that we were having as regards to the integumentary system, which is primarily your skin, nails, hair, and its relationship with the gastrointestinal liver. So remember 7 channels of detox are kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. If you have anything remotely resembling celiac, Crohn's, and those kind of fancy diagnoses, your problem is gastrointestinal imbalance. I mean, we're going to have to fix that. A lot of people in fixing that going to require a consultation of some sort based on how serious your symptoms are, right? As regards to pterygium is a growth in the eye. People who deal with a lot of dust, so people who deal with anything, because, for example, tailors, upholsterers, they deal with dust because there are a lot of dust in fabric, right? People who deal in construction and those type of things, they get pterygium. So it's actually a growth on the lens of the eye. I don't believe in going and get that cut because that is a little too close to comfort for me. The eye optics formula works very good for that. We also have an eye drop which is known as MSM, which is an eye drop I started to bring like maybe about 3 years ago. And then there's one we have called Sincera. Sincera is the one for the mature cataracts. We're getting a little problems to get that from the supplier right now because of the situation with this fancy war they're having. But we have already been on back order, so we should get that eye drop for those mature cataracts, the Sincera, by the middle of this month, God's willing, for the latest we should have. But in all, you could use the eye optics formula as well as the IT and the optimizer, and in maybe about 1 to 2 bottles, no pterygium again. We have some excellent testimonies with persons with that. Because again, you don't want, that is on the lens of your eye. And depending on how the pterygium grows, it usually crosses from one corner of your eye to the next corner of your eye. So it actually goes on the white of the eye itself, across the lens, and you really don't want anybody cutting that. If you hear when they do that surgery, it literally sounds as if it is your soil wood. It's not too nice. And you can end up with eye damage. But the eye drop is going to help in that situation.
All right. 3 more minutes, my friends. I don't know. Good and blessed morning to Dr. Batson. I listen to your program constantly. I'm 65 years young and I have knee osteoarthritis. Can you help?
Yeah, man. We dealing with that in the sleep. In the sleep, we fixing that. Arthritis and osteoporosis and things, that's easy business, man. When you come with a bad kidney, then again, no work. I always tell people that.
All right, Dr. Batson, how do you deal with bald patches on your head and pain and burning under your feet? I have no sugars, no levels of high sugar, thank God.
Right.
My pressure goes high and low sometimes, so it fluctuates. So they're asking for answers. Can you assist this person here?
Yeah, man, we can help you. I have a client in Tobago recently. They're going to give me a testimony. I'm going to get a testimony by the end of this month. Lupus. The young, and watch me, this is a young person. Watch me, hair falling out in patches. 1 month, they come back for a revisit. Watch me, all, but I say Mary, but she name is not Mary. But when there's a female and you're giving trouble, or you used to get trouble, it's called Mary. I call you Mary. Mary hair grow back. If you see Mary face, Mary said, Dr. Batson, I don't believe because it's Mary mother bringer. Eh? Watch me. Results of the highest order. Any patchy thing, we could fix that, but it comes down. We need to do a little analysis, that type of thing. Depending on how your money running, you could just do the consultation. Keep in mind, this week at the Shoguna's office, we have open clinic day. So anybody who was trying to get an appointment and you wasn't getting an appointment, Shoguna's office of Batson and Associates is at your disposal. If you call my office, read my lips carefully and listen to my words. If you call my office and anybody in your office tell you cannot get an appointment this week, I will deal with them. They might want a job. We are working, right? So we have open clinic days. I ensure that I put certain things in place, staff-wise, product-wise, every-wise, to ensure that we could facilitate you. So if it is you're waiting for appointment all the time, you can't get appointment, thing bad with you, Shoguna's office this week, open clinic day. Take advantage of it. If you know you have intentions of doing the blood analysis, that package with the blood analysis, the scan, that type of thing, you have to fast for 2 hours. Call my office and tell them that the reason why you're calling is not, now I say walk in, so you can walk in, but the reason why you're calling is that we will position you in such a way that your wait wouldn't be a long wait, because we're going to get people, right? And I don't want to have you sit down the whole day hungry, all right? So let's do the thing with a certain level of organization. My colleagues, as I like to call them, they have been instructed to move accordingly. So don't let anybody give you any trouble. Anybody you feel give you problems, you let me know. But they wouldn't get trouble. They know how we operated, right? Nicely.
Nice. All right. So I think that is it. No, yeah. Let me get this last one in, because this one came in. I feel like we just have to do a lot. Hi, Doc. I am 42 years old.
Right.
Cannot work due to my condition.
Oh,
Ridiculous hypertension figures. All right. So this number's high.
What high is high? They give a high?
No, I didn't give a number here. So my friend, I suggested he send me a number.
Send a number quick. Where's high?
Right. I've been in and out of hospital. I had bad nosebleeds.
Whoa.
Never seen so much blood.
Jesus
Also
Christ.
bad edema. All right. I am drinking detox tea and coffee. And at times I weigh 350 pounds. I need help, please. At night, I don't get enough sleep. I'm urinating all night. Sleep apnea. My eyes are giving problems. And I am
open clinic day, open clinic week. That's all I say. Open clinic week. Come in front with a white flag and wave it, and we'll carry upstairs. Yeah. Yeah. That's that. No. You need it.
You start with this coffee.
I'd call Jesus to help me, man. You come to the open clinic and wave a white flag, so we don't know who you are. Come.
Yeah,
you need help.
As to how high this pressure does go.
Yeah, I want to see. Well, if they have nosebleeds, that means that pressure passed in 200. That's a 200 over 1 something.
Message and said 210 over 165.
Yeah, no. You white flag, you come. Open clinic day. You just come. Nah, man. You see when I tell you it has sick people, and when I just be behaving like on the radio, people just get vexed with me. But I love what I do, and I have a passion for what I do. I tell people, few people in this world just live and find out what their gift is. I know what my gift is, This is my gift, and I love what I just do. So I enjoy in life. I just work hard, but I enjoy in life. I love what I do. I love to help people, and I love to get people better. That person, you need to come down the road, because you is a ticking time bomb. I could imagine you've been in the hospital every week. They must have a bed. You have a special bed put aside for you. No. 210 over 165, you say, Now you must get some stroke already and don't know. What we call TIAs, transient ischemic attacks. So, Mr. Dominic, sir.
Yes, sir. The numbers for the clinics,
yes.
One more time.
Yes. So the numbers for the clinics for the Shoguna's office, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building in Montrose, Shoguna's. That telephone number is 222-8261. 222-8261. Because of the situation right now, if you are completely incapacitated and immobile and you cannot come up the stairs, keep in mind Shoguna's office is our first floor. That has not stopped us from helping people before, but you can utilize the Debe office, which is our ground floor. That is the corner of Ramsamut Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. Again, that's 223-7515. St. James office is also a ground floor office. that is located at the Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number is 220-8113. Again, that's 220-8113. And Tobago office is also a ground floor office. We are going in to our new our new office, which is in the same building, but on the other end of the building, separate, larger space. And that is 226-4553. Keep in mind, we have open clinic days, and that is at all the offices, but primarily Shogunas, because David's office opens from a Wednesday, but from the end of this month, we are going to be going from every day in that office. Thank you so very much for your time. To the listeners of Sky 99.5, I hope I would have been of some use to you today. I hope I would have benefited you with my words. Thank you so very much for allowing me into your household. Dominic says, always a pleasure to be in your company. And as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. May God continue to bless you and your family. Stay safe and take care of yourself. Yes.
All right, my friend, thank you so very much. You've been listening to the program Overcoming Your Health Issues Naturally with Dr. Dr.Bbatson of Batson and Associates. My friends, you've heard the numbers. You know where the clinics are. Go get the help that you need and drink some water.
Amen.
All right.
I endorse that. Endorsed by Batson and Associates.
Wonderful. So you see, again, I get a commission for that one right
now. Yeah, of course. It's you use Dominic, you know.
All right, my friend. Take it easy. Till the next one.
Yes, sir. Later. Bye-bye.
For the best healthcare experience, you come to Batson and Associates. They're special.
Right. I just want to hear. Social media family. Well, you all realize what somebody say, you're not done yet. Oh gosh, social media or disciplined child say, where are you going? Who is disciplined child? Oh, but I want to know where I'm going.
Why? Because you have a few questions.
I have questions. Oh gosh, no. Yeah, what are we gonna do? Shakil?
Night program?
Yeah, boy.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Watch me. I'm gonna give all again our program this evening.
Okay.
I should have said you're gonna get our program this evening. So this afternoon. So I just have to talk to Shakil and we will organize and I'll give you all at least an hour.
Okay.
Right?
To
answer all the questions because I really want to see what's going on with the radio there, right? So Piggy Pings and Miss Pamela Moses and to everyone, you know, who asked questions as I couldn't answer questions, as well as disciplined child who say you're not done yet. I had to see who disciplined child is. He says, I am listening to you on YouTube. All right, disciplined child. So this afternoon, we're going to tell you all the time, or you're going to look out. Shaki going to post it up. I'm going to do a live for you all. Shaki, we could say the time now, or you ain't sure?
I want to present for 7:30.
7:30?
Yeah.
All right, so 7:30 tonight, people. We'll be back on. We will do a live for you guys. All right?
But make sure, disclaimer, make sure to ask the questions up front.
Ask the questions.
Because when the hour is up, Dr.Bbatson needs to sleep because he has clients to deal tomorrow.
Tomorrow, please. So, definitely.
Ask all the questions up front. Bring the A game home.
Yes. And Trisha Lee is asking, are you still doing phone consultations? Miss Lee, yes, we are doing phone consultations. All right. So, thank you so very much for your time. Miss Elizabeth Nandlal, Petronella, Joel, Felix, Denise Deno. Today was a good program. This program was a good. I mean, we always have good programs, but this program was a magnificent program. So God bless you guys. And as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. So we have a live later this evening, 7:30, and we will be in touch. Somebody asked, isn't today your birthday? No, today is not my birthday. My birthday is the 17th
of this month. 17th
of October. And I am taking gifts, sir. Thank you so very much. Possibly kisses, but I don't care if I was saying that. Honey, babe. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless.